I don't really like. I don't know. I don't feel the need to like discharge the duties properly, I guess. Let's see here. Let's see if we're live.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. Calm down. Stop it. You may kick your butt. Now you get all fucking hyper? You've been laying around all day. Now you're fired up, puppy? Now you're fired up?
Let's see. We are live. Let's see. Oh, hey, that's even me saying we are live. We are live.
What, did post the whole thing? Nice.
Let's see. Oh, hey, that's even me saying we are live.
Alright, I can erase
we
the first one.
We are live.
Let me get that. What, did post the whole thing? Nice.
Right,
yeah,
cool.
it's that one, the thing I just posted. Yeah. Right on. Yeah, yeah. The video clip, it's basically like the little fucking Bernese puppy like goes and he grabs onto like the back leg.
Being doggos.
Yeah. Yeah, did you see what I put down? Somebody had that written something in the comment section which I stole. Although I did reference it, just not who, because who cares, but it was funny because it's like the Bernese. I was thinking, hey, let me see what your leg tastes like. And the Golden's like, hey, wait, let me taste it too.
Yeah. Yeah, the Golden Retriever does indeed decide to bite his own leg in response.
Yeah, we're their buddies. They're sharing activities.
Oh, I love the New York City scam because, yeah, as soon as it said, like, oh, we have basketball, oh, fucking liars.
Yeah,
liars,
that's what I said. You'll know the ending. You'll know the ending. Well,
see these fucking asshole kids out in front of the store all the time trying to sell candy bars, like this high school kid who looks like he's 23 years old with a fucking box of fucking candy bars.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna play basketball. Fuck off. You're a scammer. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, at least the violin guy.
Yeah, if you're playing a violin, like, at least there's some sort of, like, talent involved, but...
What just happened? Alright, that was weird. I had, like, an incoming call, and it made all these weird noises.
Oh,
and
weird.
Then it cut all the audio.
Oh, maybe it was a fax or something like that. Got your phone number?
Yeah, I didn't answer it though. It was just a weird noise when I went to, stop the call. Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it didn't answer. It could have. Either way, we're good.
I've answered the phone to fax machines before, and when you answer the phone and it's a fax machine that's calling, it starts making all these like fucking weird noises and shit because that's how the computers communicate with each other. Yeah, that was definitely what I was thinking. But when you said it didn't answer, I was like, oh, never mind. That's definitely not it. So I posted the video about the cop lady that sucked her way to the top.
Oh yeah.
Like I think we all agree. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like she did what she did it, and she wanted to use sex to get her way up the ladder, and was just happy to fucking a bunch of people.
Yeah, she also enjoyed it.
The victim here. No one's stupid. But like fire all of them, her and all of the guys that were fucking her. Like all of them need to be fired. They were all doing terrible fucking stupid shit that they shouldn't have been doing, and none of them are fit to be cops. Like clearly.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I get that you work together, but you couldn't do it off hours, off your fucking shift.
Like, exactly. And you were doing it in exchange for like promotions and stuff like that, so pay raises.
Yeah.
But this guy.
The quid pro quo.
Like, I posted that video because I'm pretty sure the guy, Todd Grand or whatever his name is. Yeah, Todd Grand.
Grande.
Posted it specifically so he could make fun of the fact that she had a biology degree. Police officer makes the most of her biology degree. I'm like, okay, haha. I don't think he cared about anything else. He was just like, this is a really subtle joke that I'm going to make. Yeah.
Dude, his jokes, I can only describe as gloriously awful.
Yeah, oh yeah, some of them are really fucking bad. I've been listening to a lot of his stuff as I'm gaming lately, and it's very entertaining. He missed his calling. He should have been like the apprentice to Stephen Wright.
Yeah, just very dry, isn't it?
Yeah, like that would have been perfect.
Humor is
so
very monotone. Yeah, very dry, very monotone. They're not really monotone, really just dry, yeah. Yeah, it's grande. Bingo. Get it right.
Grande, or whatever.
Dr. Todd Grande.
Starbucks has made me feel uncomfortable saying the word grande. Like, I just naturally try to avoid it now.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, it's like the town I live in. Nobody says grande. It's always grand. It's just Casa Grande. Nobody says Casa Grande unless they don't live here.
Oh, yeah. I think, San Francisco, lots of people will call it Frisco, but none of the people that call it Frisco are people who actually live in the San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or apparently San Fran. Like, they really hate Frisco. Like, anybody that lives there, like, hates Frisco and hates hearing it called Frisco and hates hearing it called San Fran.
Both of which I delight in using as constantly as possible for any reason I can when I'm in San Francisco.
I would hope so, dude. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that's
it's a fine afternoon here in Frisco.
I love my time in San Fran. I love to get down here to San Fran whenever I can. Frisco is a place to be. Don't you agree, locals?
Yeah.
They're all just wanting to stab you with syringes. The dirty syringes.
Well, at this point in San Francisco, if they wanted to stab me with syringes, they just would. It's not like there's any punishment for them.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh, looks like the damage to you is less than $900. So.
I'm a white guy. I don't count. I don't think they even give a shit what happens to me. Yeah. The only time anybody get arrested involved in that is if they stab me with syringes and I beat the fuck out of them for doing it.
Yeah.
They come up and arrest me and put me in jail.
That's vigilante something on your part.
Mm-hmm. How dare you defend your fucking person?
Yeah.
Well, that brings up that case where the lady got raped on the train and nobody fucking intervened.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm pretty sure everybody on the train was like, well, look at how she's dressed, and fuck, I'm not going to jail for this bitch.
Yeah.
Because it was in New York. It was in New York. It might have been Philadelphia. But it was in one of them fucking liberal cities where it's like, yeah, you're just going to go to jail for getting involved, so why would anybody do it?
Yeah. I don't know why. That made me... have you seen the movie Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Okay, this is going to be pretty obscure because it wasn't a huge part in the movie, but when the main bad guy actually gets out into the real world, he's like shocked at how little everybody cares.
Yeah.
Because he like shoots a guy. He's like, I just shot a guy, and like he's screaming it, and the only thing that anybody is saying back is, "Shut up!" Quit yelling. You know what I mean? Like nobody cares that he fucking just shot and killed somebody for no fucking reason.
Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense. That's funny. It's like, yeah, because back in New York, in the days when that was made, New York was still kind of a fucking cesspool, right? Like where Times Square was like mainly hookers and porn theaters and shit.
Yeah. Giuliani actually cleaned it up with some questionable, legal tactics. But yeah, and then the Dems took back over, and it's back to a shithole.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find that scene. What was his name? Benedict or something like that? What was it? No, I'm not going to remember.
I don't remember at all. It has been so long since I watched that shit. Let's see. I shared the Black Kid Drums.
Yeah, it was a while ago, but for some reason that one stuck in my head as being really funny. I actually really like that one. Like everybody, I actually like that movie. Like unironically, I like that movie.
Oh, Last Action Hero? Yeah, it's a good movie, right? Yeah. I mean, if I remember correctly, I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of really great. Yeah, Schwarzenegger's always super fun to watch. He has fucking epic comedic timing. Say what you want about him in any other aspects. Schwarzenegger is very good at being actiony and very good at being funny.
Yeah, I don't want to see him in any dramatic roles, but yeah, comedy, action, absolutely.
I watched the movie where he was in a dramatic role, where he played like an old man and
so
everything.
I see why they're constantly compared with each other, or used to be.
Yeah, when I watched Schwarzenegger playing an old man in a film, that was not great. Where he was like an old man who was like beat down by the world, and everything was super depressing, and it was just like, man, Schwarzenegger, this is just not the role for you. You just make it way too fucking sad.
Yeah, that's crazy. Kind of like I struggle to watch De Niro do comedy, like the Analyze This movies and all that, especially the first one. I guess he got okay at it after a while, but that first Analyze This movie or whatever was.
Well, it was all carried by the other guy. You know what I mean? That those Analyze This movies were all about not De Niro; they were about the other guy. Like, whoever they put in there, as long as the other person in the role was funny, it would work. Because De Niro's fun to watch. He may not necessarily be good at doing comedy, but he's entertaining. So as long as they had a funny guy in that other role, it was going to sell. But those are certainly not high on my list of movies to watch. I kind of want to rewatch Last Action Hero right now. You know, are you there? Yo! Oh, I guess he disconnected or something. Yep. Had a feeling something was going on there.
Alright. How about now? Can you hear me now?
You're back. You're back. What's up?
Okay. Yeah, no, I should have realized. I'll hear the disconnect noise, but then it's showing that I'm still connected. Mm-hmm. But every time I do that, you can't hear me. I could hear you the whole time. But for whatever reason, it stops. It stopped sending anything through the mic. So I need to know from now on that when that happens, I just need to disconnect and reconnect. Because again, I'm hearing you, but you're not hearing me. So lesson learned. Pattern has been established and noticed.
You know, it's funny because I was we're talking about movies. I was recently thinking about starting up a Saturday afternoon movie event with the karaoke group that I'm with. Where, you know, host a fun old, and like the typical way we used to run it was like by voting on movies, you know, put up like 4 or 5 options and let everybody vote. But I think I'm just going to pick like good movies, because like I wouldn't want, like for instance, I wouldn't want Analyze This to be one of the movies that I watched, but like Last Action Hero would definitely be on that list, or like Twins or something, you know, like a good Schwarzenegger flick.
Yeah, indeed. Although, come to think of it, let's see. Sandler, for being a comedic actor, is actually a really good character actor, too. He's just good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've seen Punch Drunk Love's an interesting one. Oh, yeah, Jim Carrey, too, for sure, man.
He may be absolutely batshit insane, but he's a very good character actor.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Dude, I loved him in Hello, Samaj.
Hey.
I think he mentioned him just because Jim Carrey's Canadian when you came in.
Oh, yeah.
No, because he's also
I know. I know. I'm fucking with you, dude. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is one of my fucking all-time favorite movies, and he's really fucking good in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and obviously the Andy Kaufman.
I was super impressed with the character he played in the what is it? It's not superhero. You know the one where like the real superhero guy, the kid who was like had an accident, so he had less pain.
Kick-Ass?
Kick-Ass, yeah, Kick-Ass 2.
Kick-Ass 2, yeah.
Jim Carrey was in Kick-Ass 2 as that sergeant character, and it was like, I didn't know who the fuck that was until after the film, and then I was like, what? That was fucking who? So I thought that was pretty impressive, because usually I can pick people out even if there's like heavy makeup and stuff.
Yeah, actually, that happened to me with Mike Myers as fucking Gold. Somehow I didn't notice Goldmember was fucking Mike Myers like the first 4 times I saw that movie.
Oh no!
Yeah. I really thought it was Travolta because I think he kind of made himself look like Travolta a little.
Well,
you know what I mean when they did the whole spoof thing. Hey, let me make excuses for my dumbassery, please. Thank you.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Well, John Travolta did play him at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm claiming
that's
that
why.
he set that up.
Yeah, that's why. Well, that's probably why you thought that. Although, if we're talking about like dumb times we've ever like misinterpreted someone as an actor, I wasn't familiar with Robert Downey Jr.'s work, so when I saw Tropic Thunder, I thought he really was black.
Oh no!
I didn't know. It wasn't until Iron Man I'm like, wait, is he doing whiteface?
Dude, that's amazing.
God.
I was at like I told that story when I was at like a little like a fan meetup there. One of the guys was just laughing so hard. It's like he's like, I could totally see why you think that, but the funniest shit I've ever heard.
Dude, that is funny. Dude, how when was that made? Because I'm wondering how close that came to never happening. Because it was fucking brilliant.
I think it was 2008, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah. Okay, so not that close. Yeah. I'm
Oh,
trying to think of what
2002.
point, like 2014, maybe 2015.
2002.
That can't be made.
Oh, 2002.
Oh
Okay,
shit.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That
Wow,
makes
okay.
sense.
So not that close. I'm trying to think of how close to now that movie could be made without like massive fucking hysteria over it. Like maybe 10 years ago?
Oh,
12?
no.
How far back do you think you'd have to go before that movie would be
about 10.
made and not
About 10
like,
years at least. You could probably get away with that in 2014.
Yeah, barely though, right? Like that's probably right where the wire is.
Yeah.
And even then, you'd probably hear some pretty heavy complaints.
Wait, we're talking about Goldmember, right?
No, Tropic
No.
Thunder.
Oh,
No.
fuck me. Well, let me look that up again, because clearly I was looking up the wrong movie.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I was going to say, I thought it was way more recent than that.
2008.
Yeah, that is 08.
Samaj was right.
Yeah, it was 08. God damn.
Yeah.
Samaj, you're good at that shit. I don't
Well,
think that's the first time you've nailed that kind of thing.
Well, Tropic Thunder gets brought up a lot in conversations because a lot of people are saying the same thing. Oh, you can never make that movie again. And you could. The thing is that like
that is the best example.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. was brought onto like the Joe Rogan thing, and he was asked that, and he said, "Oh, you can totally make that movie. It's totally possible to do and to get into theaters. The problem is that the reason why people don't do it is because afterwards you might never work again. So it's like make it if you want, and a studio may even pay to get it made, so long as you're working a modest budget. But after that, you'll never work again. It's like you're
no one will ever hire those actors, the producers, the directors will be fucked.
Yeah, so it's like it's possible, but that's it. So you have to really
go out in a blaze of glory. That's what you gotta fucking do.
Right.
Well,
that better be like, this is my fuck Hollywood movie, I'm out. That's pretty much it.
Well, and don't be surprised if that actually happens, because like people are pretty much getting fed up. They're absolutely fed up with the state of Hollywood, the state of movies, the state of entertainment, and it could be that we're going to have a giant thing where people are just saying fuck it, and they may even like a lot of these like actors who made a lot of money. They may even decide to say like they're going to fund it themselves, like make a small movie, $10 million. Like if Robert Downey Jr. wants to do that, he could. If And actually, one of the theories that some people had is that actually there were a bunch of actors who were going to do that because they knew they would be fucking big hits. Like, what's his name? Johnny, the guy who was sued recently, Amber Heard. Nicholas, no, fuck. Depp, thank you, Johnny Depp. I don't know why I was spacing out. Well, I don't know if you heard the rumors, but Johnny Depp has been seen in Disneyland, dressed up as Captain Jack Sparrow, with some handlers and all that, doing his bit. Because they do have an actor. They do have like an actor who goes around playing Jack Sparrow, but he does okay. But this guy spitting image of Jack Sparrow, and the only one who could pull that one off, Johnny Depp. And so people are wondering if it actually is him, because there's actual footage of him playing Jack Sparrow, and this is like exactly what he was doing. So they're wondering if it is him, and if it is him, that means that they probably made some agreements and stuff, because there was some rumor that Johnny was working on his own little project. No one knows what, but he could have been making his own Tropic Thunder, and it would have destroyed all of Hollywood because his movie would have made so much money, and he could have used that money to finance a new studio. So it could be that there will be a change, especially like we got Deadpool Wolverine coming out soon. I think the tide's going to change because you kind of have to, because a lot of these big name people, because like if Hugh Jackman wants to start his own film studio, he can, and he'll make everything he wants to do, and they'll fucking knock him out. So now Hollywood is I think Hollywood's back to the corner, and they have to, but they're so indebted and in the pocket of BlackRock and all these other big companies that they're trying to figure out how to make it work. Because otherwise you have to finance the movie yourself. And the problem with financing the movie yourself is that you're not really going to have the money. I mean, especially Disney. Disney is absolutely hoot because the only thing keeping them afloat is their parks, and no one's going to the parks either. I mean, people are going, but there's less and less people going now, partially because they also raised the price of fucking everything. Disney was always expensive, like, $8 for a fucking hot dog. Well, like, now it's about 15. So it's like, why would you fucking go to Disney?
Yeah, really. Good lord.
Like,
well,
I thought
everything
maybe
is going up in price, like, to an extreme amount, though. Like, shit you used to spend $20 at the grocery store, now you're spending $200. It's insane.
Yeah, one bag of groceries tends to cost about $100 now, so that's one of the metrics that people are saying, because it's like if you bring 3 bags of groceries home, it's like on average that's like $300. Like $100 used to get you 3 bags of groceries. Now
$100 used to spend, for most people would be a week's worth of groceries.
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago.
Less than a day. It's like it's insane.
It wasn't that long ago that the rates were reasonable. I mean, things were reasonable about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, things weren't nearly as bad. What happened 3 years ago? Joe Biden got elected.
Yeah, it really was. It's been over the course of his presidency that it's gotten to the level that it's at, where it's just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like
a little bit of it was the COVID shit, but yeah, he made it a million times worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
definitely the COVID stuff coming back to roost to an extent, but a lot of it is just flat out that companies refuse to not make the same amount of profit they're making, and so they're just taking it out of everyone else's pockets. And like, I don't know what the solution to that is, because the problem is it's like you have this sort of like this fucking absurd concept that like certain jobs are just not real jobs, so why should they pay a real wage? And it's like, but the companies are making billions of dollars over the course of a year, so it seems like a real profit. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know what's going on with it, but something's got to change.
It kind of comes off as a profit, because I mean, rates do have to go up, and then people do have to live. But now that people are getting less and less money, there's less and less money to spend.
Well, all the prices are going up at an exponentially higher rate than the wages are going up.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Wages should also be rising at a similar level if it's if we're going to keep things going the way they're going. Otherwise, we're basically just going into like fucking the dark ages.
Well, the nice thing is, and some people have pointed this out, but what you can discover if you go to a mall or something, because so many stores are struggling and a lot of them are shutting down. But if you look around at a mall and you see stores that sell things that really at like high rates, so like you go to a store that sells sunglasses, let's say, and those are some of those specialty items. Those are like the first stores that should shut down. Almost every
Right?
mall, almost
makes
every mall
sense.
still almost every mall still has them up and open. You look at something like this Nike and those sports shoes and all that stuff. The specialty items, those should be the first ones closing up. They're still open, but other ones like little grocery stores, mom and pop shops, they're the ones shutting down. And so what you're seeing, okay, put on my conspiracy hat or whatever. You go to a mall, and you see the stores that are still up and functioning just fine, selling really strange knickknacks or whatever else. Those are the ones you need to. Those are the ones that are probably evil. And I use evil in I think they're getting backed by something else. It's like, yeah, don't. These are the people you should never go back to again. It's just a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking the luxury ones might actually stay open because any of the lower end shit, the higher prices kind of affect. Like rich people are still gonna have money to spend on rich people shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
They don't have to make the same level
the bigger
of
ones are open
sales.
too, and why they manage to stay open.
Yeah, well, they don't have to make the same number of sales, like volume of sales, because they're luxury items. They're intended to make a smaller volume of sales, I think is what goes on.
That could be. Yeah.
So that
I'm not
the
sure what
wealthy
the
can
fuck's
still
happening.
afford to buy
What's
like
the
the really
reaction?
nice
I wanna
shoes,
throw
and the
out there.
upper class can still afford it, and the middle upper class. So there's still enough people just to barely keep them running. That makes sense.
Yeah, and they don't care
I mean,
about
I could also be totally
how much
wrong
they
too.
mark
I'm
it
just
up.
saying it makes sense,
Could be.
Yeah, no, I'm like I said, I just threw that out as a theory. My first thought. I have no idea if that's correct.
Me neither. I don't know.
Frankly,
I'm just sort of guessing.
yeah, we're all fucked. Like, doesn't do
I
to
like
dwell on it
conspiracy
at this
theories
point.
though. It's pretty good too. Yeah. Yeah, even in a good economy, I mean, malls are going to be phased out just by online shopping over a certain amount of time anyway, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's the other thing is the fact that as more and more business gets done online, more and more is going to continue to be done online because why bother, why bother going to the mall? It's such a shitty experience most of the time.
Yeah. Well, things are getting harder and harder because, I like to collect, Transformer toys. That's one of my little hobbies out there. But due to various different things like shipping and everything, it's I like going to the store and looking for it. Part of what people collectors like to do is they like to hunt to go find these things and see where they are. Nowadays, you go out there, doesn't matter what the release date is. Sometimes it doesn't even matter if you pre-order it; they ain't gonna be there. Or if they do get there, they might get one or two. And it's it's the shipping orders are just absolutely ridiculous. I pre-ordered one last week, still haven't gotten it. It was supposed to be out. I see some people in my area have gotten theirs. I didn't get one.
Oh,
so I'm and I pre-ordered it. The thing's fucking bought and paid for, but hasn't come in yet. And then I look online because some people don't get their shipment till later. Then it says it won't be here till June 1st. I'm so I have to wait 2 more weeks? Oh fuck! All right. So I don't know. And this has been an ongoing issue. A lot of things get delayed. So I know some of it's distribution, some of it's I always think of globalism or whatever because the parts of the toy is made in China, the assembly is done in Thailand, and then they have to ship it all over on boats and stuff. So it's going to different parts of the world until it finally gets here. And I'm is this even remotely affordable? Why can't we build it locally? We literally have plastics and stuff. We can build a factory.
Isn't there a lot of shit that's that's literally sent to like China to be processed and then sent back here?
Yep.
Like that's how fucking cheap it is to have it done in China.
Yep.
And it's actually cheaper to ship it ship it over there and have it shipped back.
Yep. Well, in China, it's
That's
like
pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in China, it's like borderline slave labor. Although I don't know if you've heard about what's going on in China right now. So with all their protests.
Oh no, what's going on?
Well, so basically, people have absolutely become completely fed up because wages are terrible. It is borderline slave labor. It's
Oh yeah,
unfeasible.
some of those people aren't even allowed to leave the factories they're fucking employed in.
Yep, like the Foxconn, the guys who make all the Apple products, like that's insane. And a lot of other products that get made over there it's very similar living conditions. But also, a lot of people put their savings into the housing market. So like they would buy like apartments or houses and stuff, and no one even lives in them because they assume that the real estate thing. But then they had like the real estate bubble kind of burst, and a lot of the houses that were paid for didn't even get built. They just sort of took the money and ran. And
yeah, well, like what is it? Or they were built with like styrofoam interior and a thin concrete layer on the exterior, so that they last long enough for people to move in before they start literally falling apart.
some of them were actually also put together with flour.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
like
insane.
flour.
Some of the stuff over there that is just so far beyond acceptable. It's like you've got to be joking. Like there's no way anyone would ever be like, "Oh yeah, no, that's totally cool."
Yep. Yeah. So we have all that going on, and then they have the food problems because they keep exporting out their food, and people are having trouble feeding themselves. And a lot of this also like it started with their COVID restrictions, and then they like lifted them all because they knew they had to immediately get back on their feet, but then they just couldn't do it. Nothing was working. And now companies are like taking out all their money out of China. So like I think Apple's moving their factory out somewhere else. So pretty soon there won't be any work to be had at all. So like their entire situation, and from what I've heard, you have to remember, getting information out of China is very hard. And a lot of the information like I've seen, it could be out of date by now. Because I saw some like the other day about all the various different protests and like skirmishes between like the military and the people. It's like a Tiananmen Square 2.0. For all I know, it could have gotten better, could have gotten worse.
Wow.
Yeah, and they even have like I remember seeing photos of the police putting up these what they're kind of like satellite dishes, not satellite dishes, but these devices that would stop cell phone signal from getting in or out. It's like phones would be useless, so you couldn't like live stream it or send photos. So who knows how old the photos are when the rest of the world finally got them. So like shit's going down in China.
Oh yeah, I'm not at all surprised. Like we all knew that was going to happen though. Like that's not that's not really a surprise sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's been I think I a ton of people have been saying that for a very long time that China is a paper dragon. They're going to fall apart. Their whole system is unsustainable. There's no way they can continue to do the things they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's. I know I've been hearing that from a lot of different people, but it's kind of unfortunate because now we get to see it happen. And it's the same thing with communism that's happened how many times in the past? Mm-hmm. Millions of people are going to die, because it's just like. That's just how that happens. Is the rich people in China are not going to die, but all the poor people are going to die in droves.
Yeah, yeah, that's just how things work in these kind of places. So like, yeah, I hate to see it happen, but it was going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, because the Chinese government's terrible, but the people are not bad. Like they're fine.
Yeah. And so, like, when you hear this kind of stuff, it makes sense. What you hear in all these factories are moving out of China and going to places like Mexico. I hope they're not going to India, but some of them might be. It depends what the offers are. Thailand might be another place where they move manufacturing to.
God, no. Yeah, it's It's not good no matter how you do it. It's going to end up working out badly for us. Is essentially what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, and we're going to have a lot of those cheap goods that we like to get off of Amazon. I mean, got to find other sources for that.
Yep. I will look forward to that. Thank you very much. It is so fucking hard to find anything that's not, like, just absolute fucking trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like everything you pick up off of Amazon at this point just falls apart. Like, I bought a bed frame a year ago, and it's already, like the welds have just fallen apart. Like, that's insane.
Yep. That's why I get superior IKEA furniture.
Oh, I mean, I didn't realize how bad it had gotten. So it was, now, obviously, I would not be purchasing anything off of Amazon like that. Because, I know better.
Yeah.
But it's, it's sad how bad the whole system has gotten as far as it goes with, like, how awful the quality is. People are things that they're buying in China. Like, some of the Chinese people are getting ripped off now, too.
Yep.
So they were showing, like, people buy, like, water jugs and stuff, and it shows them, like, trying to pick the water jugs off of the tables with the water in it, and the handles just literally come off in their hands. Like, just dumb shit, like, you're like, what? It's crazy.
Yep. So it's going to affect places like Walmart. It gets a lot of their stuff out in China, and same thing with Amazon. I did notice the other day, I was looking at T-shirts in Walmart, and pretty much all of them say, like, made in Bangladesh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's a different change.
As long as it's not China at this point, honestly, I would imagine Bangladesh is probably better quality, sadly.
It might be. I mean, I don't know. I've been wearing these Bangladesh T-shirts for a while, so I guess they're okay.
Have they started to, like, the seams have started to come apart and the weird shit like that?
No, they're holding the air pretty well so far, so... The only reason I have to get new ones is because I've been wearing them too much, and so I guess they are good. But they are cotton shirts, so yeah, might only go for so long. Sorry if I'm a bit nasally there. I have a flu or a cold. I don't know what I got.
You're fired.
It better not be another second round of COVID. Oh, yeah, I hate that.
Oh, I don't even worry about COVID. I had it twice and I never got the stupid shots, and I've never had any problems with it.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, so this is one of those things, like, keep close eye on your channel kind of thing. I did hear an interesting thing. I think it was at a UN conference or whatever, where someone was making a complaint, because apparently definitions have changed, and so again, I have to double check this one, but I remember seeing this guy talk about it, and I thought this was insane. Apparently, if you take the vaccine, which is an mRNA vaccine, which means it changes your DNA, so that way it fights COVID. However, now that your DNA has been permanently altered, you're technically no longer human. Because humans have
what?
Yes, and this has been a thing for a while, but so, like, if you have technically you're no longer human, because DNA sequences go a certain way in evolution. It all goes a certain way. It has to occur naturally, and this artificial changing will change everything, which means whatever you're going to be like, you're technically not even human anymore. Because
that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but
you're not a human being anymore, asshole.
Yeah, so and this isn't the first time I heard about this. The guy who created the mRNA vaccine, he pretty much said the same thing. It's like, yeah, technically you're no longer human because that's how our DNA sequences goes. However, I think it was the UN who whatever. So I have to double check it, but they essentially said that because you took the vaccine and now you're technically no longer human, numerous different human rights will no longer apply to you.
That's crazy.
And I kind of knew it was going to go that way. So you mean to say to me that because you took this vaccine, it changes your
vaccine
DNA.
that your odds are your government forced you to take.
Yeah.
Gave you no other option. You're no longer a human being, and you don't get rights anymore.
Exactly. The government can say, "Well, human rights only apply to humans," and now that you took it, you're technically no longer human. So I'm like, okay, and like I said, we've known this for a long time. The guy who created the mRNA vaccine, he said the same thing. He said, "Yeah, technically you're no longer human," but at that point, like, because he was expecting people this technology to be used for old people. Like when you're old, who cares if you're technically no longer human? I mean, at least you're able to live your life without your cancers or your other kinds of diseases or whatever else, so that we have a better quality of life.
Yeah.
But it's like that's how it was supposed to be. But then if you're of the age where you can have kids and all that kind of stuff, technically you can't have human kids anymore. So it's like, well, that's interesting too. But then again, apparently once you're vaccinated, having kids is a bit of a problem now. So.
Oh, really? That thing that everybody said was going to be a problem is a problem? That's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is hilarious. Just like that.
Well, and it gets even weirder because to go more on the whole vaccine thing, the other thing that was discovered is that in certain parts of the brain, apparently what the vaccine will do is it will crystallize. Becomes crystals within your brain. Predominantly in certain parts.
That's a weird one.
It is a weird one. Now, the good news is it's not going to kill you or do any of that kind of stuff. However, it does make you susceptible to certain signals. Now, what does that mean? No one knows. What kind of signals are we talking about? We're not entirely certain. But if it functions a certain way, it's like you now have an antenna in your brain. So
that sounds creepy.
That does sound creepy. And now that you're probably going to be more susceptible to various different signals. I thought that's even creepier. So what's that going to do?
Yeah,
we don't know
what kind of
yet.
Signals? Who's sending them? If there is anything.
Can it do something? Again, we don't know. We're just now figuring out that it's crystallizing in the brain. So what does the crystal mean? And what do the antennas do? Well, if you're someone like me, and you live in a city that's part of the Smart City program, and you may have noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've certainly noticed this, we have all these new LED streetlights, and the various different, and in the UK they made this discovery, because in the UK, a lot of guys have decided, like, enough of this bullshit, and they've started taking down the streetlights. And a lot of because they have all these cameras and stuff, because like London was like a smart city, and the reason why is because they thought there was something suspicious, and apparently the internet has nicknamed these people the Blade Runners. So I'm not entirely certain why.
Because of the video game.
I think it was more or less like hunting down, was it like robot people or something? I don't know. But in any case, what they do is they go up there and they tend to take down a lot of these, not the actual lights themselves, but they remove components of the streetlights. The lights still work, but they do take out stuff. And the reason why they're upset is because in there, and this is the claims from the people doing the taking it down, but they're making the claim that the things that they're taking out are actually signal devices. And these signal devices are considered like weapons.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm like, I don't really get it, but they're part of the whole 5G kind of stuff, like 5G kind of signals and everything, which could mean any number of things. Like, okay, so it's like does it operate our cell phones? I'm not entirely certain, but apparently in the UN these are classified as weapons. So that means the streetlights all could technically contain weapons, if that's true. I don't know if it is.
Crazy.
It is, but they're taking them all down, and so I'm like, okay, well, that could be a thing. But to circle around back to the whole 5G thing, I don't know if you've heard about this stuff, but essentially it's been confirmed that 5G does cause cancer.
Really?
And Alex, yeah, this is a big thing on X, on Twitter. Elon Musk was talking about it. Essentially, they're saying Alex Jones was right. So they have all these new studies and all these new different credible sources, and I think even in was it in Florida that also made the announcement? Like a bunch of people, you might hear more about it. But 5G has been confirmed to cause cancer, and it causes other kinds of things like anxiety,
Wow.
sleeplessness. So like if you hear a lot of people having trouble sleeping and all that stuff, if they live near your cell tower, that could be it. It could be enhanced if this the crystal thing we're talking about in the brains are a thing. It could be that it's having an effect. Who knows?
Weird.
So
That whole situation sounds pretty crazy. I don't know. I'll wait and see with all of that. It sounds like some very entertaining conspiracy theory kind of stuff, but also
the Blade Runner thing, that could be again, those guys are doing vandalisms. It could be that they've become completely conspiracy theorists and all that stuff and gone nuts. That's totally possible. But we live in a time when a lot of people are upset. I mean, who's going to trust the government anymore? It's like it makes sense that there's a lot of people lashing out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
there's a lot of people who are extremely unhappy who can't afford basic necessities.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we have people who are upset because our government forced things upon its population, and then we're finding out all this sinister stuff behind it, and it's like, yeah, okay, well, there's going to be a lot more conspiracy theorists out there, that's for damn sure.
Oh yeah,
I guess,
and who could blame them?
Yeah.
Who would blame them? It's pretty reasonable to be, what do you call it? A conspiracy theorist at this point. All the crazy shit that's going on, and right out in the open, it's not like it's that crazy anymore.
Well, it's a maybe we need to stop calling them conspiracy theorists and start calling them spoiler warnings.
Predictions.
I'm actually curious. I was watching a thing about the flat earthers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering because again, there's been obviously so many conspiracy theories that actually have turned out to be true.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there would be less people willing to believe that fucking nonsense if there wasn't so much other shit that was conspiracy theory that turned out to be true.
Well, I think something.
Just a thought. Sorry.
Well, I think some ideas are put out there to discredit conspiracy theorists to make them look like crazy people. I think flat earthers is one of them. I believe flat earthers is a government kind of program to try and discredit things.
Yeah, kind of a disinformation thing.
Yeah.
You're like those flat earther conspiracy guys. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I think the flat earthers.
Crazy.
Well,
the amount of time and shit they've fucking dedicated to it is fucking tragic, dude. It's funny, on a certain level, but it also is kind of tragic.
Well, I think one half is that it's government psyop to try and discredit the conspiracy theorists. I think one half is trolls just having a laugh, and then the other half is the people who actually believe it.
So I don't know. I feel like the people making money off of it, I think most of them know it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's plenty of true believers that are fucking donating their money to these fucking assholes.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yep. There's a couple of flat earthers that I follow, but that's mostly because they are definitely fucking trolls. But that's kind of why I find them funny.
Yeah, no, that can be pretty entertaining. I could see that.
Yeah.
But dude, they're the ones that believe. Holy fuck, man! Holy fuck, do they believe? Like they are dedicated to it. They are more fucking dude. I don't know if there's any group of any kind of ideological thing anywhere that is as fervent and as fucking tenacious as these fucking morons, dude. Yeah, it's pretty entertaining, but again, kind of sad.
Kind of sad is right.
God damn it, because some of them seem to be fairly intelligent, dude. And you're like, God damn, dude. Like you could be doing something that's not fucking completely pointless.
See, some of them, like I said, I choose to believe a lot of them are just trolls. I think they do it to get a laugh.
Yeah,
but
or grifters, which I guess could be the same thing.
Could be the same thing. So I don't know. Some of them I take a flat earther with a grain of salt. Because I'm like, either he actually means it, or he's just trolling, or he's using it. Because that's the other thing I find out is like the people who also troll are also out there giving out like actual like information. Because a lot of the flat earthers are also the same people that said like the vaccine is like a bioweapon, that kind of stuff, and a lot of those guys ended up being right. So I think some of them use it as a way as a workaround to put out actual information.
Apparently, it's a bit of a pipeline to white supremacist shit too.
Oh yeah, The minute you start thinking for yourself, you might become a terrible racist. You might not actually hate anybody who's not the same race as you, but you're definitely becoming a racist.
The people, the flat earthers, it does seem like there's a good chunk of them that also become legitimately become white supremacists.
Oh, like legitimate? Oh, that really
happens?
Pretty fucking
nuts. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I thought I was going to say, like, anybody who has any
sense.
sort of independent of the normal thought is just immediately considered a racist at this point. Like, everything's painted with the brush, so it's like, it doesn't mean anything when you call anybody racist anymore. Because it's like, okay, whatever.
No, but that one actually seems to be that one actually seems to be legitimate. They seem to hate the small hats. They seem to definitely hate the Jews. And because that's what I was watching them. The guy at runs the Lore Lodge has done a few live streams with these guys. He's been very fucking charitable. Towards the end of the last one, he did kind of lose it on the guy because again, everything that's spouting is some bullshit, word salad usually. But up till then, like he'd been actually really charitable. I'm like, why the fuck are you still doing this? But anyways, he had kind of pointed it out. He's like, you won't say the name. Come on, you know what? You know what I'm talking about. Just say the name. Say it. Name them. Like, say it, you know what I mean? He's like basically saying, say it's the Jews, dude. You know you think it's the Jews. Say it's the fucking Jews.
Oh my god.
So there is some again, I'm not even crazy flat earthers am I going to say all or even most. But it apparently, sadly, is a significant chunk of them that also end up being hating Jews and white supremacist types.
Well, we definitely live in interesting times, so at the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting times is a very mild way of putting it.
Apocalyptic. Apocalyptic times.
I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's one way of viewing it.
Yeah, I'm being extreme, dude. I'm not being serious.
No, I think like the idea of it being like apocalyptic is brought on to try and make people have more anxiety and shit. I think they want people to think it's apocalyptic. Like whenever I talk to my mom, whenever I talk to my mom about this kind of stuff, she seems to think that we're living in the end times, and she's not even religious. And I'm like, come on, Mom, it's not that bad. In fact,
shit's fucked up.
I actually am on the opposite. No, it's okay. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I actually think that we live in, things are kind of shitty, but I think we're going to be hitting the new golden age pretty soon. And I'm actually much more optimistic because I look at things like pretty much all the politicians have done such a great job of fucking tanking their side, their positions, that the opposite end's gonna win in a fucking landslide. Like I look at culture, it's like no one's spending money on any of these movies, these video games, all these kind of stuff, and they need to circle back around and make quality entertainment. We need to have quality politicians. We need to have quality everything else, because the people by and large are just not gonna tolerate it. It's they're pretty much we're gonna see a turnaround pretty fast. Like at this point, like they pretty much need to get
Well,
Trump to be
have you
president.
heard? What was it? I believe it's Trump's son
Hmm?
was saying, hey, whatever happens, don't be surprised at what goes on after the election.
Yeah.
That was his statement. It was a very cryptic statement, obviously, but he was. It sounds like something to be concerned about.
Yeah.
So potentially,
Well,
I mean, hopefully nothing happens, but
yeah, you're right, and I expected cryptic messages like that to come up because I mean, live in interesting times. You never know what could happen,
yeah.
what's around the corner.
Well, I mean, it looks like they're gearing up to rig the election again. So I don't know.
They can
I
try.
don't know how well that's. As I was going to say, number one, I don't know if it's going to work. Like if it's going to be enough. Number two, I don't know if people will literally be like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's cool." I think it might get real fucking scary for a while if it goes the way it kind of sounds like it's going.
I think they let's say they try all the tricks they tried last time and they actually managed to pull that one off. I don't think the people are going to tolerate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like
saying. I don't
frankly,
think they are either, and I think it's going to go really poorly for a lot of people in this country.
I think
Just as a general rule, nothing specifically,
like okay, like I would think that if things get let's say they rig the election and all that other kind of shit, no one's going to obey any laws at that point. Essentially, it's going to go down to complete and utter anarchy because no one's going to listen. Everyone's going to disobey, and maybe even the police force are good because eventually, like the people will fucking harass the police to the point where they will say, "Okay, we won't do anything," because that's what they have to do, and no one's going to listen to the politicians. So, like, that's why I think it's going to fail one way or the other. If Trump wins, okay, things calm down. If he loses, pure anarchy. No one's going to obey any laws. Why would you at that point?
yeah.
So it's like they're going to lose no matter what. And even if they rig it and all that kind of stuff, and then they could try to get the military and try to do a martial law. Good luck with that. America is one of the most well-armed countries in the world. It's not going to work. And they could try doing like a civil war-ish kind of things. They're going to fail. There won't be a country if the people rebel against its own state. And then you can think of the other things. What if they do like was it Nixon? I can't remember. Was it Kennedy, the one who got assassinated?
Oh, I don't know. My main concern isn't so much like an overall rebellion as various different states attempting to secede, saying, "You know what? We voted. That's not our president. We're not going to play this game. We're not part of this country anymore." Yep. And so that is a much more dangerous situation, because not only is that going to probably potentially cause a civil war, but it could also make us a lot weaker for potential enemies like a potential Chinese or Russian invasion.
Yep.
That would give them a lot of fucking power over us.
See, I think you're right that if it was to go in that direction, I do think that if they were to, I do think like the military itself will unite and defend the country regardless of what civil war is going on.
Oh no, I do too. I'm just saying, like, we might not have an invasion as long as none of the states succeed, but we might if they do. So it's like,
well, I think even if they do, the military are not going to just let their country be taken over. It might be under civil war, but I think the military will do its thing, and then the civil war will continue. So,
no.
I think you're right. I mean, that could happen. But if I had to guess, I'm going to say the military is probably not going to let some other country come over and just take it. I think that even if it's under a civil war of some sort, I don't think anyone's going to invade. On top of all that,
I'm saying, if you have secession of states,
yeah,
there's a potential for an invasion. If there is no secession of states, I don't think that that's likely. So
yeah,
the problem is, as long as whether the military gets involved or not, like the invasion would still happen. If like Texas and a bunch of states were like, we're not part of this anymore. That's the part that scares me. It's the invasion itself happening. It doesn't matter if the military fights it off. A whole lot more people die, if that happens. So that's why it's.
Yeah, I think personally, I think it's going to sort itself out.
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
don't think I just see that kind of happening, and I think given how the rest of the world's happening, right? Like, because Russia's got their own shit to deal with right now. It doesn't matter what happens.
I don't think Russia would invade. I think it could be potentially China thinking that it was going to work out for them, but.
Yeah, I see that. That's what I mean. Like I look at Russia and China; they got their own shit to deal with, and they ain't gonna invade. I know there's a lot of talk about it because they might try to take over Taiwan. Even if they succeed, they're still done for. It ain't gonna fucking work. And I think that deep down they know it. The only one who doesn't know it would be their leader, Xi Jinping, because he's one of those kind of. I don't know him personally or anything like that. I can only guess from what I've heard, but he doesn't sound like the kind of guy who takes bad news very well, and so most people don't give him bad news. So I think that's why he keeps acting like he's the big man on campus.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's a big tough guy, and he doesn't seem to realize that actually he's pretty fucked and he can't do shit. So I think even if he was, either the military will listen and do what he says, or they're going to say, sir, we can't, and then someone's gonna have to tell him, and then he'll have a pretty hard shock, because I think everyone else in the Chinese government knows what's going on except for Xi Jinping.
That might be the case. I know that I've seen YouTube videos now where people who are like, there's a spy from the Chinese government that's like making videos and telling everything about being a spy for the Chinese government, which is, unexpected to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And on top of all that, I think he actually does know about like all the various different protests and rebellions going on in his country. So that also might be a bigger priority for him than global events. I think he still wants to try and rule the world, but it's not going to happen.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Maybe if they didn't fuck up and accidentally get the virus out early, then maybe they'd have a shot, but shit happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see, there's got to be some less disturbing news. Let's see what's going on.
Well, I'm less disturbed by all this global events thing. I actually think it's a good thing. But then again, that's just me. I forget who I was talking to, but he thinks we live in the best times. He thinks, things are quote unquote.
We do, if you think about it. Like, we have more technology and longer lifespans and more comfort than ever before in the history of mankind. Like, that's true. Just because we're going through a really fucked up period of time doesn't mean we don't have like a lot of luxuries that other people never did.
Well, he's of the opinion that given how fucked up everything is, this is actually the best time to be alive, because not just for all that kind of stuff, but because it's so interesting, and this is the kind of shit that we're going to be talking about for generations to come. The culture wars and all the other kinds of stuff, and even if it was to go into like some sort of like nuclear missiles, that kind of stuff, people are still going to survive. It's not like the end of the world and the civilizations, but America ain't gonna fucking lose no fucking war. Let's be honest. even with the lower enlistment rate,
people have thought that kind of stuff before. It never pays to think that you're some sort of invulnerable in some sort of situation like that. You'd be amazed at some of the powers that thought they were all that in a bag of chips that did not survive quite the way they'd planned.
Well, I think how it works, it's not so much that as it's like
conventional war. It would take almost the whole world. Like, even the whole world might not be able to beat us. in a conventional war, but it would almost certainly turn nuclear.
Well, more like what I'm trying to
magic.
say is,
And that's a scary thing.
More like what I'm trying to say is that big entities don't die; they just rebrand. One example being the Roman Empire. It didn't actually fall; it became a church. We call it Catholicism. It's still there. You go to the Vatican City, all the stuff that Caesar fucking stole and conquered from all over the world, it's still there. It was never returned. It still goes on there. And the people who run like the Pope and all appointed by him, and the Roman Empire and everything else, they just rebranded. They didn't actually fall. If something were to happen to America,
dude, people get so mad. Yeah, when you brand that, when you're like, it was more of a political / control thing than an actual religion.
Like what? Like,
Catholics get very angry at that, which is cool, I suppose.
Like if you look at all the terrible stuff that could potentially happen, like let's say in every worst case scenario that could happen to America, America still isn't going to fall. They're just going to use it as an excuse to rebrand, and maybe it won't be called America anymore. In the worst case scenario, maybe they'll rebrand and they'll call them something else, like the country of Florida or something. I don't know.
Dude, okay. Hold on a second.
Could break up into a bunch of.
If at the end of this whole situation, Florida takes over the country and we elect what's his name as the king, state, that would be fucking hilarious.
It could happen. I mean, I think that's far more likely than America falling.
I think that becomes the king of America at the end of this whole situation.
It could happen. I think that's
hilarious.
I think that's like in any worst case scenario, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because, like I say, Rome didn't fall; it's still around. It's just rebranded. And I think if there was to be any kind of war or invasion, it's the exact same thing. I think like there could be nuclear missiles coming down, and they'll blow it way out of proportion. Say billions of dead. Oh my god, we're going to use this as an excuse to start over again. It'll be a great reset. Go figure. I think that's all it's going to be. I think whatever happens, it's just going to be fucking nonsense and they'll rewrite history. And the only reason I say that is because it's happened before. And the more recent case, like I said, was Rome. But there were other cities and cultures that existed long before what we have here. We've just sort of forgot that they even existed. If you go back and you find like really, really super old maps, they'll list down cities and towns that don't exist anymore. And then if you ask people, historians and stuff, they say that kind of stuff never existed. One example being, like they always say about like Atlantis, but in the search for Atlantis, we found numerous towns and cities that don't exist anymore. That weren't listed on any maps unless you go super old, and they just sort of got forgotten or they got rebranded. And some places that used to be one thing, you end up being called something else. So it's not unusual for that to happen. Anyway, I have to feed my cat.
Yeah, dude. Are you familiar with the Piri Reis maps from the 1500s?
Yes.
It was a Turkish admiral, I guess. Yeah, well, it's got the fucking coastline of Antarctica mapped out like fucking almost identically. And that coastline in modern times wasn't discovered until like what, the late 1800s?
Mm-hmm.
Early 1900s, maybe. I don't know. It definitely was not. Technically should not have been known back in the 1500s.
Mm-hmm. In fact, like earlier in like a previous stream, I was talking about like if you go like those old blimps that people used to fly, you see pictures of those old blimps. They had murals of maps on the walls, and if you look at the maps of America from those old blimps, it says that California was an island in these fucking maps, and people look back at that, and there's multiple pictures of this. So it's like, was California ever an island? If you look at history stuff, they never said anything about that. But it's not impossible.
Yeah, there was definitely a very relatively shallow sea over a huge chunk of the western U.S. That was a really long time ago. That was millions of years, though, I think.
Yeah, well, I wonder how
maybe
old
not.
These things
The numbers might be wrong. It was definitely a very long, very, very long time ago.
Well, and things like all you
Well,
have to
speaking
do
of the flat Earth thing earlier, I'm sorry, it's not super important, but the funny thing is, the flat earthers use the United Nations map, which is essentially the flat Earth map. Apparently, like it's very close to the flat Earth map.
Yep,
They use that as proof.
yep, yep.
Oh,
I've
that's
heard that one
funny.
before. Well, some people say
Yeah.
it's kind of proof that it's all part of the same operation. The flat earthers are in league with the UN. Like, I guess that kind of adds to the conspiracy, but we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, I gotta go feed my cat. I'll be right back.
Ooh, have fun.
Did I post that? One of the last times the guy from the Lore Lodge interacted with the fucking flat Earth tards. Um, I forgot what the fucking response was, but I like described like what I've mentioned here, where I found myself in the ocean with really high powered batteries because my dad's a fucking nut for that kind of shit. There was. Um, but I posted a story of how I watched fucking ships fucking sail over the horizon. I didn't really doubt that it was around Earth or anything, but I was like, well, I'm here. It's kind of fun to watch this anyway. So yeah, and I told him about that. I'm like, yeah, no, watch it. Till it was just a big ass smokestacks on this big ass ship or whatever. But yeah, one of the flat Earth guys responded with, I forget exactly what he said. Let's see if I can find it, but yeah, it was uh, some weird fucking, because they have an excuse for everything. Like they have a pseudoscientific debunk for everything
Oh yeah, there's always
at
some
this
sort of
point.
excuse.
Yeah, fuck. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I'll try to read it because it was funny. Because I'm like, oh my god, like, yeah, they're worse than like the worst kind of communities I come across as far as like any kind of belief or even just fandom. Like the fans of the DID chicks, the multiple personality chicks. That group's pretty fucking rabid. Like if you fucking question anything, dude, about their fake ass fucking alleged multiple personality fucking goddesses, they are fucking vicious.
Oh
um,
yeah, no doubt.
yeah, the flat earthers are right there. They're not. Yeah, they're like even more than most of the crazy lefty lunatics, dude. Like they are more fervently like in defense of their beliefs than even the crazy fucking leftists are, or the crazy rightists too. They're obviously there as well. But yeah, no, the flat earthers are pretty nuts as far as that shit comes.
Gotta be super careful with that kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think they're quite the like. I'm gonna find out where you live and like that kind of shit. Or I haven't seen that anyway. But yeah, they are very like. No matter what you say, they will go through comment sections and fucking like obsessively go through comment sections because I'll comment on videos that are like a week or fucking 2 weeks old, whatever, and they will. And again, hardly anyone else ever responds once something's that old because they just don't come across it. That you know what I mean? You get a vast majority of the views in the first few days or whatever.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but dude, the flat earthers they must go back through these fucking videos like constantly
You can set up a bot to give
because
you
I
no.
always get a response
Oh, sorry.
like within a fucking day.
I think that
Yeah,
what's
so
sorry.
it's
I
pretty
think what's
fucking
happening.
nuts, man.
I think what's
how
happening.
avid they are.
Sorry. I think what's happening is that they have bots that respond, or at least give them
Mm.
notifications when someone leaves a comment.
Oh, that
You
makes
can also
sense. So
Yeah, it
it's
could
like
be.
yeah.
you can also create
Yeah.
an AI bot to respond to these things and make comments.
The notification thing makes sense because their responses are always lucid. At least they're
Well,
bullshit,
to be
obviously,
fair, like you can
but
set up
they're.
if
Oh,
you're
here it
so
is.
involved in the argument, you know what I mean? Like you're so involved in the argument, you can set it up so it emails you.
Yep.
Like you get an email whenever like somebody responds to your comments. Like that's actually a thing. So
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, they are getting a lot better, too, so.
Yeah. See, because,
But
like, me
yeah, basically,
personally,
again,
I
I
found
told
I
that
had
story
that
about
by
actually
accident.
watching with,
Oh, I was just gonna say I've had it by accident where I had
sorry, go
it
ahead.
set up to respond, like to send me emails when I got response to comments and else on YouTube videos, and I was like, "Oh my god, let me fucking stop that now," because that's fucking obnoxious. But yeah, if they're sitting
Oh,
there at their
fuck.
fucking phone, it's just oh, I got an email. Oh, somebody fucking said that. Fucking flatter, fucking globist motherfucker. Like they're ready to go.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I post this. Here, I'll read it real quick. So this is the response I got to my little anecdote about watching with high-power binoculars, ships going over the horizon. This guy responded, he says, I assume in your activities you noticed that with the naked eye the same ships disappeared beyond the horizon, yet they were still there when looking through the optic. That same phenomenon is responsible for their disappearance when using the optic only at much greater distances.
Ooh, interesting.
I was going to respond to him. I'm like, no, I could still see the tiny blob of the fucking ship. Like, it was a pretty fucking clear day. You know what I mean? But, like, why? Like, what's going to happen if I do? I'm going to get another bullshit response. Probably get buddies to come in and fucking comment too. So I'm like, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm
Yeah.
not responding to you fucking people.
Yeah, it's generally better to just not pay any attention to those
Yeah, I'll do
fucking
plenty of fucking
psychos.
responding. Yeah, I've had a lot of run-ins with the people that are still fans of Keffels at this point. They're a pretty rabid bunch themselves.
Oh, interesting. I know that makes sense. I guess if you're dumb enough to
Yeah,
follow
shockingly
Keffels in the
enough,
first
there are
place,
people that are still.
makes sense.
Yeah, if you didn't know by now that she's completely full of shit and is just a fucking grifting cunt. Yeah, if you didn't know by now, video telling everything's not gonna show.
Yeah, that's
Because I felt like
one.
Mudahar approached it pretty fucking evidence-based shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty insane, man.
I think one of the things that a lot of people
dude, the fact that literally just her saying, "Hey, that artwork's not flattering," so that's automatically transphobic because you used unflattering artwork in your fucking thumbnail, and you what she said? Oh yeah, they misgendered the pronouns, which she didn't actually do. But that was enough for the dumbasses that still believe her bullshit to just dismiss the entire video and not watch it because the thumbnail was transphobic because the guy doing a fucking unflattering. There's something really quick on that. I actually learned since the last time we talked about it that she had actually used artwork from that same artist like a month earlier. With her, she got into it with Vaush. I don't know if you can Vaush, whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh, I think I
they
vaguely remember that guy. He was kind of a lunatic.
Yeah, he's a fucking moron. But yeah, then she had used the same artist's artwork like a month earlier. But now that artist is transphobic because he did, in addition to all the other unflattering fucking shit he's done to Vaush and whoever, now that it's done against her, now he's transphobic. Now that art is transphobic. So yeah, again, anybody that's buying that shit were people that were just not gonna fucking believe anyway. That are not swayed by reason or fucking facts. Which is an interesting phenomenon.
I can't tell if Vosh is a troll or not. Like, I listened to some of his arguments, which are completely insane. They make no sense. Even when he's like backed into an absolute corner, there's literally no argument that he could possibly make that he's correct. He still goes ahead with things. I'm like, usually a sane person would say, yeah, okay, I guess you're right about this one thing or whatever else. Like, he cannot do it. It's impossible for him to do it. And the only people I see who cannot, falter on this stuff are usually trolls. And that's why I keep thinking, is this guy a fucking troll? I can't tell. Something tells me he's not serious, but he might be.
Yeah, that's the scary thing, because again, he comes across as fucking fairly intelligent, like he's well spoken and all that shit, fairly verbose. But yeah, then he says some of the dumbest shit you've ever heard, so confidently, so fucking like professionally sounding, and then you're like, wow, this is fucking interesting. Does he really believe this stupid shit?
See, that's the part I can't figure out. Like, part of me thinks yes, but part of me also thinks no. I don't know. Yeah. I'm leaning towards he's just a troll because like I'll see some of the posts about him, and it's just such insane shit. Like there was that one where he had like his girlfriend or something in the background, just morbidly obese woman. I'm like, who's like naked or something. And it was like, like what the fuck am I looking at? Another one was when he had a bunch of like he accidentally put up I air quotes accidentally had a window up that had like his a file full of like anime porn.
Lolly, yeah, specifically lolly. Yeah.
I remember that. He was trying to be like it was somebody else or something like that. Like had some dumb excuse that made no sense.
Yeah, I think it was actually not bad. He said he was in this to sort later, and then you're like, okay, but you labeled it taxes, and that's the type of shit I would do with my porn. Is put it into a folder that says like system or something. Nothing, again, I'm not in any illegal shit, but I just didn't want anybody knowing where I had my porn. But yeah, so taxes would be another one. Like, who the fuck's gonna bother looking into?
So it's not normal to just label your porn folder porn.
No, I probably should have, but again, if other people
I just don't want anybody accidentally going into it. Like, no. I'm sure they know I have it, but
Yeah, see, that's the kind of shit. And especially when you have kids and shit that are going to be using the computer, dude.
And I don't think he has any kids, but this is the kind of shit that makes me think he's a troll.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the kind of shit that makes you think he's a troll. Because I'm like, dude, why would you even don't you not have kids? Like, like what? Why are you doing all this?
Yeah, he might just be a fucking degenerate. Like fucking, you know what I mean? He might be an intelligent degenerate.
Oh yeah, that's probably the case.
I don't know, man. I've seen enough trolls out there. I don't know.
Intelligent. Like he's still defending capitals, if that helps at all.
Well, I mean, like look at Coppercat. I mean, that guy is obviously a fucking troll. Well, also, like I was actually on stream with the guy.
Amazing though.
Yeah, I was actually on stream with the guy when he basically admitted that he was a troll. So I'm like, yeah, okay, dude. All right, thank you. Back when I used to help run the
he definitely toed the line. Where you're like 80%, 70, 80% sure he's a troll, but not quite 100%. Like he actually did a really good job of like making you wonder. Like I think I'm like 90% sure, but maybe not. Like it's still possible. But yeah, he was good at it. I actually give him props.
I don't know what I'm looking at here. Is this real or is this a fake? Other people like I totally get was fuck was that guy? I don't hear about him anymore because he keeps blocking everyone. Steve Shives.
Oh Jesus!
That guy.
No, I think he was just pussy whipped. I think he just was pussy whipped, and his wife led him around by the cog. That was the feeling I got from that guy.
That guy, I totally believes the shit that he says. All right, I don't think that guy's trolling.
Yeah, no, he's definitely that stupid.
That he fucking blocks everyone, and to the point where I had to get my mom, who was like relatively new to X, and Mom, just look up this guy and just click on him. Are you blocked? You're not? Oh my god! Put away your phone. I don't want to respond to him. I don't want to use your account.
Yeah, I think I guess there's like some kind of shit you can run where like if you can block everyone that a certain person or that follows a certain person, so he would get his enemies and just put that on the list. Like block them and anyone that follows them, and that's why there was like that whole hashtag blocked by Steve Shives thing or whatever, because it was like so fucking ubiquitous that anybody that disagreed with him was blocked.
Oh man. I vaguely remember him. He was the one who was basically like his wife went through his record collection and was like, these are the records you're allowed to keep, and just like all sorts of crazy over the top like nutso shit that his wife did to him. In the name of like feminism or something.
I don't remember that for him specifically, but
I mean maybe I'm misremembering.
It could have been. I don't remember that specifically, else. But that does sound familiar.
Like there was just some really
that definitely happened. I'm just probably I could see it happening to him. Yeah, no, he's definitely spouting whatever his wife tells him to believe. Because he was pretty popular in the atheism community, and that was kind of the split. Was people or I should say the thing where you're starting kinds of
oh, you just turned into a robot, sir.
And the rest of them are just, we just don't believe in religion's kind of, bullshit. Is it still doing it?
You turned into a robot. I can't hear anything you're saying, yeah.
All right, I don't know if you're hearing me.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay, hopefully he'll come back here in a minute and be better able to be understood. Steve Shives sounds like a fucking lunatic, though.
Oh, he is, but he's at the point where no one cares about him.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I hadn't heard about him in a long time. The name is like almost like, holy shit, that's a really old fucking reference.
Well, when you keep blocking everyone, it's like eventually you're gonna get forgotten about. So it's better to have conversation.
Just no one will have any idea who you are anymore.
Yeah, it's better to have a conversation than to not. Especially if you want to make like a career out of this shit.
Yeah.
On a more positive note, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but apparently George Lucas is coming back to Star Wars.
That'll be interesting. I don't know if that's necessarily a positive note. I mean, he's kind of the one that's been letting it get fucked up. So
yeah, the prequels weren't great, but I feel like he would do better than what Disney is doing with it.
Yeah, fair enough. I just am kind of done with the whole thing. Like who cares about Star Wars anymore?
You and everyone else. So you're not alone in that idea or that feeling. But it's a big deal for a couple different reasons. One of which being is that like Kathleen Kennedy, who usually wants to do nothing with the prequels, essentially wants to pretend like they don't exist. It seems like she might not be at Disney anymore, which would be a good thing. But we don't know. Well, that's speculative. But part of the other reason why it's exciting to know that George Lucas is coming back, again, we don't really know, but he is going to be involved in the next Star Wars movie. And that Star Wars movie happens to be a Mandalorian movie. Which is the one thing, because George Lucas, I think he showed up to that one Star Wars movie, like the first one that they made, and then he didn't show up to anything else after that. So, like, we have... Yeah. But he came on set for every season of The Mandalorian, and apparently he really likes it. So he's gonna. I don't know what his role is. Like, is he a producer? He might even be a director. I don't know. Which might be a good thing or a bad thing. I think Jon Favreau did an excellent job with Mandalorian, and I'd rather he, direct a movie.
Oh no, he did too good. They'll never put him in charge of anything.
Well, we'll see. I think that Disney needs to change ship because their stock, it just keeps plummeting. It just keeps plummeting.
But the thing is, a lot of this money is coming from China, and they just print it. So there's it's kind of like there's an endless supply of money for these companies because they just keep going. They even when they're because just recently they had the whole thing where they had an opportunity to what do you call it? Change the guy in charge of the company because the guy's been making such terrible decisions. Mm-hmm. And they were like, no, we'll keep him there.
Well, there's a few reasons for that.
He also did a big fucking what do you call payment to everybody in the form of dividends that should have fucking happened.
Yeah, but I mean, like the rest of the stock members have lost all that money, you know.
Well, what Bob did to stay in power? You have to remember he's only going to be in power for another year because this is going to happen again. And what happened was a large investor meeting where they vote on whether or not to keep him in charge. But Bob Iger spent $70 million. He literally flew to the homes of various different people who like stock owners and that kind of stuff, or shareholders, and he went to their houses and talked to them, presented to them, and all that kind of stuff. He literally traveled the entire country to talk to these people, and that's how he was able to stay in charge. And I don't know what he did. It cost $70 million for him to do it. That's a lot of fucking money. That you could have made an entire movie for that kind of budget just to stay in charge, which is stupid beyond all help. But that's what he did, and it worked. It cannot work next time. So he's in charge, but because things are going downhill so fast, there could be an emergency board meeting, and he could be out. Who knows when? Now, granted, I wouldn't count on that, but they could do that. Essentially, it's a guarantee he's gone. He's here for a year. Won't be for long. That's why he needs to have some successes, and that's why I think getting George Lucas to come back for Star Wars, that's usually a sign in the good direction. And bringing Jon Favreau back, even though they tried to fucking get rid of him, I mean, bringing him back could be a good thing too. So this could be a good thing. Same thing with this new Deadpool Wolverine movie coming out. Could be a change in a good direction. We still have some other shit coming out that nobody wants. I think we got that Blade series that nobody wants because it's going to be a PG Blade. Come on. We saw the Wesley Snipes movie. Make it fucking R-rated. I want to see blood and gore and vampires, goddammit.
Blood and gore and vampires? Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Those movies.
If it's a vampire movie and there's no blood, that's just why even bother.
See, and those movies back in the 90s were so good. They were a little campy towards the end, but my god, they were such fun movies. The worst Blade movie is still better than anything we have now. And then they tried to get that. I think the other thing coming out from Marvel is that Fantastic Four movie that they're working on. Everyone's all upset because they had to get what's his name, Pascal, to play Mr. Fantastic. I'm sorry, he ain't no Mr. Fantastic. He lacks everything, from the looks to the appearance to the height to the. He's just not a good. Everyone else sounds good, just not him. And we all know why he's there. He's vaguely ethnic because because Disney needs to get that DEI money, and so a lead character had to be black or something. And I'm like, you guys in the Multiverse of Madness, you have the alternate version of the Marvel Universe, and you had I can't remember the name of the actor who played Mr. Fantastic in that one. He was good. I mean, he's not the perfect actor, but he checks all the boxes. Just bring that guy back. There you go, fucking ba bing ba boom, $1 billion. Nah, and that's partially because they're kind of out of money. They need to be able to pay to get this movie made, and now they're out of money, and it's now you have to rely on BlackRock and all the other investors to get shit made. Because the other thing is you really can't rely on China because China's collapsing. China no longer invests money into Hollywood budget movies anymore, and that's because they want to set up nationalism. So the only movies that are allowed to be in Chinese theaters right now are actually Chinese propaganda military movies.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so now, so they can't rely on China. No one can rely on China. China won't allow any foreign movies to get made anymore or put out into there. So now you've lost the Chinese money, and you don't have, and all the movies that you put into theaters don't make money anymore because you don't make good movies. So the only thing that you can get to get funding for a movie is going to have to be BlackRock and the investors. So now they're stuck with them. And that was kind of the plan.
And BlackRock insists on that DEI shit before they'll fund you.
Yep. And
That's a big
all,
part of the problem.
Yeah, and that's all done on purpose. They want you to do this because they want you to essentially destroy yourself. Because BlackRock they're all about essentially destroying the world, humanity in
Yeah,
particular.
if you want to buy shit like Disney, yeah, you fucking go, do shit that makes it devalued so much that it's super cheap by the time you buy it.
And
It's
like the
fucking,
people,
it's fucked up.
like and
I mean, it's smart business, I guess, but yeah, it's fucked up.
like and it doesn't just stop with like the cast. It's the same thing with the writing staff as well, because they won't fund it if your script is written by all white men, so they have to hire like black guys and all that other kind of shit. And it's hard because you need to be on the writing staff. And the same thing with the production. You need to like if the director has to be a white guy, well then the co-director has to be black or whatever else, or a trans person. So they have all these quotas, and it's virtually impossible to fill because there's not that many people in Hollywood that are of this ethnicity or that, because it's America. It's not like a 50-50 different ethnicity. It's actually hard, and it's hard to find people to fill those roles.
Yeah.
The other aspect was like in animation. It's part of the reason why a lot of the animated movies are so fucking terrible, because they keep getting people because they need to fill a quota. So they get people of different like ethnicities and sexualities to fill these roles. But then that just means the people who are qualified for the job have to do double to 3 times the amount of work just to get a project made. That's part of the reason why they're leaning so heavily into AI, because it's like they need to find a way to balance out the workload, because the people who actually know what they're doing are overworked and they can't get it done. Hence why they're out.
And they have to fucking take input from the fucking diversity hires that are fucking shitty writers.
Yep, or they'll also outsource a lot of the animation work to different countries, like India. And those Indians, I don't know if you ever seen. They're the ones who make those weird YouTube videos. Like they have this algorithm about like what's popular. Well, Elsa. What else is popular? Spider-Man. So they'll do like these weird Spider-Man Elsa videos.
Yeah. The just on the edge of porn, that kind of shit.
Well, it actually gets worse, because what they do is they have these preset animations, and then they have this algorithm that goes by like popular topics, and then that because they want to be on top of the algorithm. And so if something in the algorithm says something like, let's say it was talking about like Adolf Hitler, it'll be fed through the algorithm, and then they'll do a children's nursery rhyme with Elsa and Adolf Hitler. And I'm like, boy, that's a pairing you really don't want, and that's not what Disney likes. And so Disney and YouTube did crack down on those videos, because it's like, really, or they'll have like killers in horror movies singing children's nursery rhymes. It's like, this is unusual in so many ways, and that's India for you.
Well, yeah, India's always been a little fucking wacky.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been yammering on. Do we have to call her quits?
No, we're still like halfway through. I just was not sure where to go at this point. Let's see.
Did we talk about the Oakland traffic lights?
Oh no, yeah. Actually, because I remember we were talking about Oakland the other day. And it's funny because their traffic lights, technically not the traffic lights are being stolen. All the copper out of the boxes that control the traffic lights is being stolen over and over. And so they had to replace the traffic lights with stop signs, because they don't have any more copper. Like, they can't just keep replacing it. And the concept of enforcing laws and putting people that do this in jail is apparently foreign, so...
Dude, seeing a stop sign where a stoplight used to be is pretty... I mean, it's fucked up, but goddamn, it's really fucking funny, dude.
It's super fucking... It's like... Can you imagine living in that country or living in that city and being like, I guess we just don't get stoplights anymore? Like, alright, cool, I mean...
Damn, if only white people were stealing this. We can arrest the white people, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter, huh? I don't know that matters much.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
it does, I'm sure, but either way, they're obviously not. There's no effective deterrent for it. It keeps fucking happening.
Yeah, no, none of what they're doing is working right now.
Yep.
That's all right. We're all gonna fight. It's just funny because we were talking about Oakland, and it's sad that they're like, oh, I guess we just don't have traffic lights, guys. Sorry. I thought the funnier one was the commercial for Portland, where their whole emphasis on everything in Portland was like, we've got all these great things, and we just love to share them with everyone. And then the whole fucking like tagline for the city at the end is like Portland, the land of sharing, and I was just like, fucking what? You guys are that's hilarious to me because they have massive amounts of problems with like businesses closing and all the theft and stuff, and it's like that's not sharing.
I've driven through there, man. It's a lot of beautiful country up there, man. It's kind of sad because it doesn't look like a normal city. Like there's a lot of green everywhere, like throughout. You know, it's not a huge city to begin with, but yeah, there's not yeah, it's just not a big city like how like L.A. or any of those cities are.
Yeah.
Their tagline should have been something like, "Hey, you can do an autonomous zone here if you do too, if you want."
Oh, the autonomous zones.
Seattle kicked you out, but we'll let you get away with it for a while. Chaz Chop.
Weird.
Man, dude, it was fucking so like just surreal that they were allowed to do that for so fucking long.
Oh yeah.
And them doing, remember they're trying to do the cardboard thing to grow plants, but they were doing it all wrong.
Oh yeah, they just laid out a big square of cardboard and put dirt on it.
Yeah, they obviously have no concept of how that works. I don't know, they use cardboard. They just throw some stuff down in cardboard.
Oh,
I'm not going to bother looking up how it's supposed to actually work.
Yeah, so my mom uses cardboard in her gardening quite often. And essentially what it is like you put it down on the base layer just to block weeds. So then you put like real soil, like your gardening soil on top, and then you don't have weeds. So kind of funny that like, they just don't understand that that's like not how you do a garden, like even close
Plus,
to
weren't
how
they
you do
doing
a
it like
garden.
on top of grass? Yeah, I thought, and maybe I'm misremembering it, but I thought they were doing it like literally just putting cardboard down on top of grass or something. Like they didn't even till up the earth, or you know what I mean, doing that kind of shit.
I think they just laid out a pad of cardboard and then poured like dirt on top of it. I don't remember if it was even on grass. I thought it was just like on some pavement in like a park somewhere.
It might have been. I'm probably not. Yeah. My memory is definitely not to be trusted. So.
Oh yeah,
I'm probably mistaken. I know it didn't make any fucking sense, and it wasn't going to work. I remember that much.
I didn't pay that much attention to what they were doing. I thought it was kind of dumb.
I just kept saying like, that's still going on.
Yeah,
exactly. That was the only thing that I found fascinating. I'm like, that's still
like in open defiance of the government.
What the fuck?
The city is like, we're rebelling against all of you. And then the city was just like, I guess that's cool. Do whatever you want. And it's like, that's not the response you're supposed to give to that point. You fucking go arrest them.
Yeah.
Go arrest them. Fucking throw them in prison. Like that's where they belong.
It was the summer of love.
But yeah, then all the murdering and raping started happening. They're like, oh, okay, we should probably there.
Probably.
Good Lord. All right, let's see here. Hold up.
Yeah.
There was some other stuff going on. I
Another
thought there was somebody that
insanity
called
going
Ted
on.
Cruz a racist. I thought that was funny. Like in Congress, basically, or like there was some sort of like thing.
Dude,
I'm like, you realize he's
actually
Latino, right? He's from fucking Cuba, you dumb cunt. Like it was just like, how are you this dumb? Like he's of Cuban descent.
I don't expect people to have intelligence these days. I kind of expect.
Oh, the DEI officer that stole millions from Facebook and from Nike. That shit was hilarious. She went in there to do like all the typical DEI stuff. We're gonna meet with the kids. They're gonna tell us all how to like run our company because we're a good corporation that wants you to feel warm and fuzzy. You know, kind of that kind of bullshit. But apparently she just didn't do any of it and kept all the fucking money to the tune of like multiple millions of dollars. And then the really shitty part is she's only gonna get like 5 years in prison. Which, if you think about it, is well, I mean, that's not, I mean, people have stolen a lot less and done a lot more fucking time for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she was literally, like, making up events, like phantom events and fake invoices and just pocketing all the money. Or paying her fucking friends and family. And honestly, dude, I'm actually surprised. As a black woman, I'm actually surprised that they prosecuted her. I am not bullshitting. I'm like, wow, I thought they just fucking let her go and had to leave it at that. I think one right? Either Nike or Facebook. I forget which one, but one of them actually did just fire her and leave it at that. And then it was the other fucking company that was like, no, we're prosecuting this.
Yeah, I think it was Facebook that left it, or it was, I could be wrong. I think it was Facebook.
Yeah, that's again, I forget. They're both companies, Facebook and Nike, are both just as likely to fucking, not want to prosecute a minority woman. So yeah,
well,
it's hard
I think
to tell.
Part of it was the company was like, we want our money back. Like they were like, yeah, you stole all this money from us. We're gonna need that back now. Like you're gonna have to fucking pay us.
Yeah, I'm sure most of it's gone.
Oh yeah, no, it's all fucking gone. Yeah, there's no way. They're never gonna see that money again. Like I don't know what they were thinking when they thought that they could potentially get their money back. But yeah, like you'd have to be out of your fucking mind to think that that woman's got like $2 million to fucking give them back after she gets out of prison. Like because what job skills does she really have? You know, like if you had a really solid set of skills that somebody could definitely benefit from, sure, you might be able to find work out of prison after 5 years and that kind of publicity. It would be shitty work and it would probably pay very little. Yeah. But like her skills are easily replaced. They can just find somebody else to be a token person. Like token person of color for their fucking corporate, office pictures. Oh, did we lose Samaj? He's back.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, like they can just find another token black lady. It's not hard to find. So yeah, there's nothing. She's really, really dumb.
She got away with it for quite a while, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's surprising how far she got away with it, with how obvious it was too.
Yeah. With literally the events not happening. Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, you would think that would be like a big tip off for a lot of people.
Yeah, I assume there was something in the paperwork because again, she literally was inventing fake vendors and fake, like all this fake shit and these fake invoices for fake vendors and all that. So yeah, I assume she slipped up a few times and didn't quite nail the fucking, the fraud in every case.
Oof.
What was the other one, dude? Oh, did we talk about that? When the bitch got scammed and by the kid and
Wait, talk about
saying
who?
that basketball thing they needed. Yeah, I talked about that at the beginning, right?
I
The
couldn't
one,
understand what you're saying. You started to fade in and
I
out
think we
there
talked
again.
about it right off the bat. The bitch in New York that was like, ah, an hour and early. Hello,
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 hello.
Hello.
fuck,
Oh, he must have cut out
damn it,
on us or something
god
because he can't hear us. Or
damn, hold on.
I guess he's restarting his thingy.
I think so.
We'll see. He'll be back or he won't. I wonder who he was talking about.
I have no idea.
Oh, have you seen the bringing the rage thing or whatever, where women are paying like thousands and thousands of dollars to go fucking hang out in a forest and scream and hit things with rock like sticks?
No.
Oh
The thing?
yeah, no, it's amazing. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It's so funny. Um, it's essentially like, I don't know if you remember primal scream therapy was a thing. Like in
Okay.
the late 2000s, early 90s, like between the 90s and 2000s, I would say. And primal scream therapy was the concept that you could, um, uh, uh, get all your anger out and all your rage out, and then go about your business being like just a normal like person after that, and you'd be fine. Sort of like the same kind of weird, creepy shit that The Purge was based off of. Like, yeah, we're gonna have a day of murder, and everybody will be just fine after that. Like, it's not gonna have any other problems. Um, but essentially, it's like that. So these women get charged. I think it was like $4,000 a session or something to fucking go out in the forest and scream, and then hit like scream until they pass out, and then hit like stuff with just sticks. But it's like, this woman creates a safe environment, and like psychologically, that's just not real. Like the only thing you're gonna do is end up developing like an addiction to rage, because like when you get angry, like endorphins, pop out and stuff.
Hmm.
And so that's essentially all that's gonna happen is all these women are now gonna be like specifically like looking for they're just gonna be like intoxicated with the rage stuff.
I think that there's a lot of women out there who are like that. It's like you see women who love the drama, like to start up shit with their boyfriends and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think those women are addicted to it. I think they like drama. I think they love to yell and shout. Definitely with my ex, that was her thing. She liked it. She liked fighting. I think that was kind of like her little adrenaline thing. And ultimately, I think most women are like that. I think most women have a thing where they need just a little bit of drama. It's just something that they're built in that way. So I
It
don't know.
might be.
Let's, my nose is just acting up today. But yeah, I think like for us guys, it's a little different because like we have testosterone and we get our things out by exercising and all that other kind of shit, or maybe even having like
getting exercise is a healthy way to help manage emotions. Going out and screaming in the forest is not a normal healthy thing to do. Like,
I imagine most of these women don't have healthy lifestyles to begin with.
Yeah, more likely.
Yeah. Well, because I think with a lot of women, they do need a little bit of like I said, like they need a little bit of drama in their life, and apparently, they would get that from like if they had kids. Kids are all about like yelling, screaming, little bundles of chaos. That's kind of where a lot of women get. Then if you don't have kids, well, then they just start being like disrespectful bitches to you.
Yep.
So it's like, if you get a woman, put some kids in her because that'll keep her in check for a good bit. And then once you get old and you retire, then you're stuck with her. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of marriages tend to collapse after they retire, because it's like you spend an actual time together, and you find out that you don't really like each other that much. Partially because you're not used to spending that much time together.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and also because just as a general rule, being a human,
Yeah.
um, you're going to be happier if you're doing something productive. Whether it is successful and makes you like a bunch of money, or it's just, something to keep you busy. Like, you need some sort of activity as a human being to like be happy in general.
Yep.
So
And
it can be pretty tough to like just suddenly not be doing a goddamn thing
I
for
think that's
all
also
day
one.
long.
I think that's also one of the other reasons why women hate it when their kids get old enough to leave the house, because then they're all by themselves. And I think a lot of women get uncomfortable being alone because women are social animals, and if they don't have something to do, they get uncomfortable. And a lot of times they'll tell their husbands and all that, but what's he gonna do? You take time off of work to hang out with his wife? Probably
Yep.
not,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
someone's got to pay the bills, and then there's only so many hours she can spend with other people, and unfortunately, that's tends to be why a lot of housewives tend to have affairs. It's like, well, no one's there. She's got nothing else to do, and she's a social animal with social interactions, so she gets it somewhere. So that's where that kind of shit can happen. That's the hard part about stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home wives. Like they need some sort of social interaction, and the worst case of that is also social media, because you
Oh
put any
yeah, that's the one you really don't want people getting involved with.
like in all honesty, I'd rather if I had a wife or anything like that, I'd say, baby, no social media, none. I don't want you to have a Facebook. Definitely don't have a fucking Instagram. Instagram's probably one of the worst. Um, yeah, don't have any of that kind of stuff. But even at that, I mean, still not a guarantee. You have to understand, like, women have been having affairs long before social media was ever invented, and they usually find a way. Granted,
Yeah, if
it's usually.
somebody's gonna cheat on you, they're gonna cheat on you. There's no way to like be like, oh yeah, no, we don't have to worry about that.
Well, and women tend to be very impulsive. They often don't think about the consequences of their actions. They just think of the whatever happens in the then and there, and especially if they're alone. I mean, that there again, there's a problem with that, because a lot of women, they don't feel comfortable not having someone there. Also as like a provider and that kind of stuff. It's also part of the reason like a lot of women tend to believe in things like the occult and ghosts and shit, because they just get paranoid.
Yep.
Stay quiet.
Is that Mister Deitois back again?
Yeah.
Is your thing working or?
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
it
Are you
sounds
hearing
like
me?
you're good. Sounds like you're pretty good now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm closer to the router now, so hopefully. Yeah, my son just picked up the dog, so I figured I'd just stay off until I
Oh, that makes
finish with
sense.
that.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how awful women are.
Same
I,
old.
well, in all honesty, I don't think women are. I don't actually think women are awful. I just think that they're different, and they have different needs and all that stuff. And sometimes there could be at odds at what a family needs. So it's just something to take, to keep aware. It'd be a lot easier for families if there were like people living in like a cul-de-sac or whatever else, and there'd be a group of homes, and then the wives can all hang out together. I mean, and then they can go out and do, like, maybe go to the gym, do some walking around. I don't know, get them moving. But in all honesty,
Yeah.
I think women also know that other women are bitches. I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you want to have all too many all women groups or fucking that kind of thing. They tend to not get along. They tend to form cliques and fucking their little cliques and groups
And the other problem
and
with
hate each
women,
other for arbitrary reasons.
and the other problem with women is that they tend to talk. Like if you're having like problems in the bedroom, I guarantee you she's telling all the other wives in the neighborhood. So
Oh,
then
all of her
everyone knows.
friends know every little detail about your relationship, sex life, everything.
Although on the plus side, though,
I've had a lot of female friends. I'd probably say more female friends than male friends over the course of my life. Yeah, you hear everything that's going on in whatever relationship they're in, like sex life, personal shit, stuff that you clearly should not be being told. You will definitely get told.
That's kind of why.
Yeah, they all seem to have boundary issues like that, right? Like that seems like it's almost a feminine trait.
Well, I think that
the lack of boundary.
Yeah, I think also women like to have like one up on each other, and they'll often talk about how good things are going, or if things aren't going great, they like to compete on who has it worse because they like the sympathy and all that. But then they're always catty, talking behind everyone's back and all that shit. Just part of life. Women are just they're awful that way.
Yeah.
That they're again.
Yeah,
that's
it's their nature to be like subtlety is kind of part of their nature, and that kind of tends to express itself like that. Just like being kind of two-faced, being friendly to some bitch and then talking shit.
Well, and that's kind of like one of the things. Like a lot of women will always say, like, I need my partner to be honest with me and tell me your private stuff. At the same time, like, don't ever fucking do that. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. They're gonna fucking tell everyone.
Yeah. Women do not actually want what they claim they want.
Well, and even if they do get what they want, I mean, they'll use it against you. And sometimes they'll do it not even maliciously. They just can't help themselves. So it's like
it's in their nature. They're horrible by nature.
It's like I don't mind having let's say like a joint bank account, and I'll give her an allowance, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like, I ain't fucking telling you what the password is to get into the main bank, because I don't want you knowing how much I make, because there again, it might spread that information around too, and who knows what that could do. So it's like, yeah, it's really best not to talk. And yeah, it sounds like bad advice, but it's like this has been known for so long. Like, it's okay.
It reminds me. Have you seen? There was a movie called Bedazzled with was it Brendan Fraser and
Elizabeth Hurley.
Elizabeth Hurley, where she was like the devil, and she was like, yeah, where she was like the devil, granting his like wishes, kind of thing. And one of them was like, I want to be the most sensitive guy ever. And he's like emotionally sensitive. Like he cracks himself because she was like already set to fuck him up, like literally sensitive. But yeah, the chick that he's like supposed to be in love with, like he's being all fucking weepy and overly sensitive. And the chick is literally like leaves him for a big buff dude. She's like, yeah, we women, this thing, we really. This is basically the upshot of it. You need to be a man. Better survive.
I remember that he there was one where he wanted to be the most intelligent man, and he is. It turns out he's gay.
Oh, there were a lot of really subtle, fucking snide commentaries on women in that movie.
Again, you can't make a movie like that anymore.
No, you definitely wouldn't be able to get away with it. Nope, that's absolutely true.
Yeah. Founders. Different.
Wasn't there a movie called What Women Want? I don't think I ever watched it.
It's all right.
But it was called What Women Want. It was like Richard Gere, and he somehow, I think it was Richard Gere, but he somehow managed to figure out, like, he started hearing like women's thoughts or something.
I think that was Mel Gibson.
Oh, Mel Gibson. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually I thought was fairly entertaining.
Yeah, it was a decent movie.
But
I
you'd
enjoyed
never
it.
be able to make it now. Like, not in a million years.
Yep. Hey, Day. Hey, Twa. What you doing?
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, I decided to try to just switch over to the fucking mobile internet because I think it's actually going to be better than the fucking
The
the
Wi-Fi.
actual fucking. Yeah, I've noticed like when I watch live streams and shit, like it's constantly buffering, dude. And then I switch over to the mobile internet, which should be the shitty internet, and it works fine. So let me know if I'm coming through, I guess,
Oh,
or
you're
if I'm
coming
not.
through. Fine now.
Yeah, so it looks like it's the same fucking bullshit. All right.
Let's see. What other stuff is in there? Oh, there was more about that 30-year-old that pretended to be a 13-year-old. Let's see. Oh, you guys hear Battlefield 6 is planning on having in-game advertisements? Like actual commercials that would pop up while you're playing the game?
I'm not surprised.
Like, is that not, like, I hate money. I don't like making money. Why would I want to make money?
I think it's because a lot of AAA games are just, crashing and burning right now.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I can't say I'm surprised. I knew something like this was going to happen eventually because, like, AAA can't keep doing this shit, and they're losing money. I mean, these games are so expensive to make, and they're just so hard to get. Or not hard to get, but they're just not feasible.
Yeah, no. Well, one of the things now is they're talking about a lot of these companies are setting up to charge like $80 or $90 for like a regular game. And then that would just be the base game, and then you would have to spend like 50, 60, 80 more dollars to get all the different levels unlocked of content for the game you already paid for.
Yep.
It's like, that's nuts. And then, like, that just reminds me of how, like, Conan Exiles fucked me over.
Oh?
So Conan Exiles had, like, 6 DLC when I bought the game. And I bought the version that came with all 6 of them and all future DLC content. And then there was one more DLC that got released. And then they decided, oh, we're not doing DLC anymore. It's all going to be battle passes. That's still downloadable content. That's not any different in the content. I should be getting it all for free.
Mm.
But they don't call it DLC. They call it a battle pass, so it's no longer free. I mean, can you imagine? Like, that's ridiculous. I spent $150 on a fucking game to get all that extra shit and all the extra shit for then on free. And then they're like, oh yeah, never mind. Tee-hee. And it's like, I don't have the money to hire, like, attorneys to file a lawsuit or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
Can't say I'm surprised. Frankly, I see us hitting a new age of indie games because it's like the AAA stuff is just dying so hard. I mean, like, Square's having a problem with all their games. Like, they recently announced that they're coming out with a new Kingdom Hearts collection pack or whatever. It's like, how many times are you going to keep re-releasing this game? Like, and all the other games in this, like, HD, something like... Do you have any idea how many fucking HD versions of Kingdom Hearts we have now? We have, like, 7. We only needed, like maybe 1 or 2. We have, like, PS3, PS4, and then PS5. Like, you shouldn't be on this many. But then again, I bet you at Capcom for doing the same thing. Like, they released Darkstalkers, like, was it 10 times? I'm like, why not just make a new game? No, we'll just re-release it because it's still popular. We'll add a new level. It's like, well, that's not what people want. And then they worry that fighting games aren't popular. Well, in the meantime, they're on, like, what, Street Fighter 10?
Yeah.
Or 7? It's like, how many times do you guys have to keep contradicting yourselves? And, Darkstalker's still Well, sells. Granted, the sales keep going down, but they keep re-releasing the exact same game.
Well, look how many times they sold Skyrim.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's another example there. It's like, I get that they need to make up the money. And nowadays, like I said, they're getting investment money from BlackRock and shit for games, but like that's a deal with the devil if I ever heard one. No,
Oh
they have
yeah,
to like,
God only knows like what they gotta sell to get the fucking BlackRock money. They probably have to like go and like burn their fucking oldest child or something in front of their fucking wife or some shit.
probably. I wouldn't be surprised on that part.
Yeah,
Speaking
that whole
of,
situation. I don't know, man. It's weird because it's starting to get to the same place where movies are, where like sooner or later people are just not going to be interested in any of the games that are coming out. And
yep.
they're going to have like all these games. No one's going to make any money off of any of the games, and they're going to be confused as to why their companies are going out of business.
Well, it's the same thing with like cartoon shows and all that. Like it used to be animation was a big deal. Now no one's watching them anymore. They're all dead. And I bring that up because there's this new show that came out called The Amazing Digital Circus. It's like geared for like 20-something-year-olds. It's not exactly for adults, not exactly for kids. That middle age kind of
Oh
show
yeah,
about.
yeah, like the young adult genre.
Yeah, it kind of has like themes of existentialism and all. It's only had like 2 episodes. And it's last time I checked, it was like 30 million views in its like first 3 days. Like that's a lot of fucking views. And they're not alone. There's a lot of other indie animation stuff being put on YouTube, and it's getting a lot of views to the point where, like, when episode 2 of The Amazing Digital Circus came out, apparently they had this. They now have an online shop. They have all these toys, these plushies, and there was like a pop up shop in Japan. They have a whole display, big statues, and the kind of shit that you'd see like a Nintendo store. It's like, how fucking big is the show? And it's bigger than I thought because there's like a Japanese version, and they have it translated different languages in multiple different YouTube channels, each in the many millions of viewership. This fucking show only has 2 episodes. It's already a global phenomenon, and I didn't realize this until it was going on. And because then I saw the stuff, and it's not that hard to get the merchandise, and it's all online. Yeah. Pretty soon it might be on store shelves. So, and I really shouldn't be all that surprised because there was an indie video game that has a similar situation called Bendy and the Ink Machine. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
No.
But if you go to Walmart, there's action figures of the darn thing and plushies. And Bendy, it's like, think like old school black and white Mickey Mouse, and the creator, old and retired, goes to the studio to pick up one last royalty check or something, and ends up getting locked into a thing where the cartoon characters are alive, and it's like a survival horror thing. And because apparently the CEO's in charge made a deal with the devil to bring the cartoons to life.
Huh.
So it's this weird kind of horror-ish kind of thing, which apparently a lot of children like. Apparently it's one of the biggest games with kids, and it's like the least kind of game I think kids should be watching or playing, but they like it.
Weird.
Yeah. But we're living in an era with like existentialism seems to be the theme of the shows, but it works. That's kind of the era that we live in. Frankly, I'd like to live in an era of happiness and prosperity, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. What are you talking? Do you think we're going to have good times
just
ahead?
Well, I think that we do have good times ahead, but there will be a few speed bumps along the road, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Hope springs eternal, as they say.
No, I'm a fucking pessimist, man. I don't buy into that shit. I don't think hope has to happen. I think everything could go miserably wrong.
I don't know. We'll see. I foresee good things, but that's just me.
I think I'll wait until after the election, see what happens if we get Trump in office, or if like it doesn't, like it just all goes to hell.
We'll see. We'll see. The weird thing is like I'll listen to Bill Maher, and he still thinks like Gavin Newsom's a great guy, and he's doing an excellent job. Or he says that Joe Biden is a pretty good president, and I'm like, how are you this retarded?
How do you even, like, by what metric are you going by at that point? Like, holy shit.
Like, how, like, are you so old and so tribal that you can't, you can't be this stupid. You have to see what's going on. But he still thinks that they're all doing great jobs. And I'm like, really? Really?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That is bonkers.
When he says like Gavin Newsom would make an excellent president, like, in what world?
Fucking fairy world? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Because the state of California is literally going broke and falling apart. So I don't know.
Yeah, with all the rolling blackouts, the fucking economy, everything's going down. The fucking criminal element. It's like, how is that possible? Now, from what I've heard, there's more people moving to New York and California than before, and I think those might be conservatives coming in there to try and swing the state. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that might be the only way you're going to save it, because these states are fucking... You can't trust the local population. They're all insane. A similar thing here in Canada is that we have, like, massive immigration, and they're coming in through New York. They come in through New York, and they go through what's called Roxanne Road into Quebec, and then they come out, then they don't even check them at the border. They just sort of let them through, and then they disperse them all throughout the country. And so we have like a massive immigration problem over here where we have, because like they'll pass through New York, they don't stay, or some of them might stay, but most of them won't stay, and then they end up in here, and that's how we end up with the problem that we're having right now. And I can't bring this up with anyone because otherwise you're a racist. But at the same time, I'm like, you realize it's like you realize these people only vote a certain way. It's kind of like like stealing an election.
Yeah.
And a lot of these don't have passports or IDs, so we don't know who they are. And the sad thing is, in some of the major cities, they're homeless now because there's nowhere they can go. But then they're also doing like what you guys had in New York, is that they have like squatters' rights. So what they'll do is if they see a home that's empty, they'll just break inside there and then say, "Oh yeah, I'm paying rent. I'm a renter," and they have like this fake renters agreement, and then forge names and all that, and then there's nothing you can do about it because apparently police say it's a domestic thing. You have to take them to court. And that could take years and a lot of money. So I'm like, that whole squatters' rights thing, it's like, that's insane. Like, that's been abused like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, squatters' rights. I mean, like, how many people have lost property to squatters at this point?
Oh, a fair bit, because not everyone can afford it to do anything about it. And then when you try to take your property back,
yeah, you go to jail, because there was that lady that got sent to prison for trying to evict people from her property. And I think that the part of the problem is that there's a lot of people who are just incredibly ignorant and think that because you're renting out property, you have, like, endless amounts of money. And a lot of these people are kind of in the same boat as most, like, low middle class people as far as how much money they're earning on a regular basis. Like they're not bringing in like $500,000 a month. They're barely getting by, just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
I just now figured out that you can do longer than 15-second clips.
Huh.
On what?
Like when you click a clip like a YouTube, like you can clip a section of a YouTube video. this whole time, like I thought you could only do the 15-second clips. I did not realize you could drag it and make it a longer clip.
I didn't know you could do clips at all. I don't do clips, so.
Yeah. All right, so I put a clip longer than 15 seconds, and then the whole scene's only like 3 minutes. But the most sensitive man thing from Bedazzled threw in there.
Oh.
It's really, dude, it's really fucking
like,
funny.
You didn't actually think women actually wanted like sensitive men, right? Because like that's not a real thing.
Yeah, no, she's literally like, no, what I really want is a man who will pretend to be interested in my stuff and fucking just bullshit until I can get into my pants. And the guy there that's kicking sand in his face is like, I'm your guy. That's me.
The best ancient wisdom that holds the test of time is that when you're dealing with a woman, just smile and nod. You don't actually have to listen to what they're saying. Just smile and nod.
You should be able to repeat it back to them, and that's about it. You don't have to really pay a whole lot of attention.
Well, a lot of women...
Just say some of the words she says back at her. She'll think you're paying attention.
Like, guys, we like to solve problems. Women just want to be heard. That's it.
Oh, yeah, that is one of those things that a lot of people do. They genuinely think that, like, what do you call it? Like that like they need to solve the problem when a woman is telling them about the problem.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
the biggest mistake. Yeah, just don't listen. It's not, they don't actually want you to solve the problem. And 9 times out of 10, if you try to solve the problem, they'll just hate you for it. So it's like, why'd you even bother? That's a good question. Why did you bother?
Good question. Never try to figure women out.
They say that women are mysterious. No, they just want to be heard. And even then, you don't even have to listen. And then when you try to tell them that that you're not even going to be listening, they tend to get offended. So like, don't even tell them that. Anyway, that's not for the misogyny, I guess. You don't need me to tell. Here we are, a bunch of Andrew Tates.
Yeah, really. I would say anything we're saying is definitely not as bad as Andrew Tate. Like Andrew Tate is fairly fucking calm for the most part.
Well, don't tell the people on the internet that.
Well, he's changed, right? Like, now that he's looking at, like, prison time and everybody's kind of fucking turned on him, he's calmed down. Like, a lot of the stuff he's saying is no longer as outrageous. Which is weird. I'm sure a lot of people would be like, what? What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I'm winding down. I have to get going.
Oh, fair enough, man. If you gotta run, you gotta run.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yep. Let's see what else is up there.
That was perfect. I was obsessed with that whole clip thing for a while there, so I wasn't really paying attention. Although it did also remind me of that scene from Last Action Hero we were talking about earlier, where his ex-wife calls him, and he just puts he has like a recording that just says, yeah, right, like it's just a recording.
Sometimes it's all you need. Oh, sometimes it's all you need, man. You just gotta fucking listen and not really say anything. That's very true.
Yeah. Agree with her bullshit.
Whatever it is. Yeah, everyone's always to blame but her, usually. Mm-hmm. But that's not necessarily
they are very much.
There's a lot of people that blame everyone but themselves for the problems they create, to be fair.
Yeah, that was definitely not exclusive to females.
Oh, so what is the Hope Solo thing? I didn't know Hope Solo had committed crimes.
Oh yeah, she's super fucking trashy, dude.
I thought she was just like some sort of like really obnoxious like caricature, like went out and did like a caricature, kind of like just trying to be like in the media and everybody sees her. Because I remember seeing her on like Dancing with the Stars, and that's like all I know is I saw her on Dancing with the Stars one time. I think that's who it was on there. It sounds really familiar.
Yeah, it could have been. It might. Yeah, I don't remember that, but
Yep, this is definitely drugs.
And she was fairly famous. I mean, she was, back when people paid more attention to women's soccer, when they were winning gold medals constantly. She was a goalkeeper for like 11 years, so like for like 3 Olympics or World Cups or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, yeah, like constantly getting arrested and shit because she won't quit fucking with like her sister or fucking nephew and all this shit. And she got arrested because she passed out in her car, like in a fucking parking lot somewhere.
Really? Holy shit, man.
Yeah, she's a fucking mess, dude. She's fucking hot. I definitely think she's hot. I think most guys do.
That's kind of a standard though. Like, usually the more attractive someone is, the more of a fucking mess they are, like in their life, because they're just
like, they get away with a lot more shit.
Looks. Yeah, they skate by on their looks, and then suddenly it's like, oh, you mean I actually have to fucking do something now? Yeah, it's sort of quickly.
Yeah, so being attractive and famous, like that's got to be impossible, dude. Like, there's no way the bitch ain't crazy.
You can't be a normal person if you're that. If you're the combination, pretty much, it's pretty tough.
So yeah, again, just incredibly fucking trashy, but really hot and famous for being on the women's team.
Yeah. Good Lord. I thought there was some sort of crazy crime that I'd never heard of before, that was like a new thing.
No, I mean, the story is pretty crazy. It's just somebody that famous being that trashy is fucking interesting to me. That's fine. Whatever. I can't remember how long that one was, but yeah, she's just a mess, dude. That's all.
It's a shame. It'd be nice if, for once it was like you get to see people be like good or something, like. Yeah,
or just not know if they're good or bad. That would be a fair compromise, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty fair point. That would be a fair compromise.
Yeah. Like, I wish I didn't know anything about iDubbbz's, personal life. That was a nice time of my life before I.
Oh yeah, well, iDubbbz is fucking crazy. I don't understand.
Dude, it's fucking insane, dude. Like, dude, it really fucking I just kind of vaguely remembered, when he was back and he was fucking really good at what he did.
Yeah.
But seeing him nowadays, a channel I follow was going back and watching like his old Content Cops and all that shit. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude! I actually forgot like how fucking confident and good he was at this. How fucking great he was. You probably might not have been as big a fan as I was, but I thought his Content Cops and all that shit was fucking great, dude. And to see him now, just so fucking beaten down, dude, by this fucking bitch. I'm like, yeah, no, I've been calling her a succubus forever. Like, everyone else is finally catching on to that. So it's nice to see that spreading. Because they do, like, some kind of shitty podcast together. And it's basically, you can tell he's basically just, oh, yeah, what she thinks, that's what I think. Like, no matter what he's saying. He's already gotten the opinion from her, it seems like.
Oh yeah, she's his Yoko Ono.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what people call her. Succubus and Yoko Ono. The two main fucking things, dude.
Have you seen that
That
one
they call her.
performance that they were doing? It was like on it was with a bunch of other famous people, and they were on some sort of like late night show kind of thing, like a big important show.
Yeah. Oh, I dubs and
And there's
Anissa?
like no. I was talking about Yoko and Lennon.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And
Sorry.
where
Yeah.
Yoko is in the like they're in the middle of performing this song. They're like doing a cover of some song or whatever. And in the middle of it, Yoko Ono just starts going ah and just screaming like incoherently, like randomly, and everybody else is just looking around like, "Yo, are we gonna fucking put up with this?" It was,
Yeah, that kind of shit. Well, she was like a fucking artist, so that she got into that shit as an
that
art
was
piece,
amazing.
like doing shit like that as art, dude. Yeah, it was fucking obnoxious. But yeah,
That was
they put
definitely.
out a what the fuck was it called? Who's calling me? God damn. Call. All right.
Who's calling you? Is it important?
Yeah. No, of course not.
Oh yeah, it's never
But
important.
yeah, no, they
I
put
always
out an
want it to
album
be
where
when
it's
I
a
get
bunch of
random
that.
calls. I want it to be important, but it never is.
But yeah, no, they put out an entire album of bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just her screaming and fucking, dude, it's so goddamn obnoxious, dude.
Be hard for it not to be, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently she went after McCartney first, but didn't, it didn't work on him. But
Oh,
it worked on
he
Lennon.
wasn't dumb enough to fall for the bullshit.
Basically. He didn't come out and say that, but that was the impression I got.
Well, he ended up fucking himself over with his wife too. So
Yeah,
like, didn't
the one
she
with no
steal a bunch
leg.
of fucking money from him and shit?
The one with the fake leg, or are you talking about
Yeah,
the
the one
first
with the fake leg. Like she took a bunch of his fucking money.
I think she was like awarded a bunch of his money.
Yeah, when in the divorce or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, considering he had made a vast amount of his money before they got married. It's kind of crazy how much she got, I think.
Well, it was Europe has different, like the UK has different divorce laws than we do, I think. Whereas,
Did
like in the
they get
US,
married in Europe?
Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got married in the UK. Yeah, where where he
Because
lives.
no, he doesn't.
Does he not live in the UK? I thought he lived in the UK when he got married.
He lived in Tucson for a very long time. I don't know if he still lives there.
Oh, really?
But no, he lived in Tucson. He lived in Tucson for a very long time. I gotta check this actually now. I'm not sure where the fuck he's at.
I thought he married her in the UK, like he was a UK citizen when he married her. My bad.
I'm pretty sure she's American. He's obviously not. Or not, probably maybe he is now, but obviously not born American. Well, let me see. Let's see. Where does he live? Liverpool. Who was there? Let's see, this is 2022. That should be close enough. There's homes around the world. Where does he live? Right. Born and raised in. Nobody cares where he's born. God damn it. No, dude. I don't want to know all this shit. Jesus fucking Christ. It's like his whole thing. Like the question is, where does Paul McCartney live? And it's his whole fucking biography.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. I guess he does live in the UK now. But yeah, no, he lived in Tucson for a really long time. Yeah, I'm sure he still has a house here. I'm sure he has houses fucking everywhere.
Oh yeah, no doubt. He's fucking rich, of course.
Yeah, it says, yeah, Sir Paul has homes all over the world, from London to Arizona and Beverly Hills. 73. Trying to see if this actually breaks down all the places he lived for however long. Okay. St. John's Wood. They recorded at the famous Abbey Road studio. He bought the house in 1965 for £40,000. Now it's worth $16.5 million.
6
Very nice.
raspberries and a fucking box of fucking lettuce or something.
Let's see. He married his American wife, Nancy Chevelle. Is that the girl with one leg? In 2011. After meeting in 2007. Okay.
It doesn't sound like the right name.
No, Linda was his first wife. I know that. Linda McCartney was the first wife. I don't know that. I'm pretty sure that that's correct. Okay, Hollywood Hills. Okay. No, Jesus, come on. Let's see. In addition to his home, the Hamptons, Los Angeles, bought a ranch in Arizona. Oh, that was with Linda McCartney. Okay, he bought it when he was still with Linda. Okay, interesting.
Linda's the one with the leg that took his fucking money.
Is it?
I could have sworn it was.
I don't think it is. I think that's her second wife. Or not. I think Linda was his first wife. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I don't know why I'm trusting my memory at all. But anyways, yeah, I know he lived in Tucson for a while. He definitely still owns a house there. All right.
Oh, you mean Tucson?
Tucson, yes, I do. Of course.
Pretty cool.
I'm just gonna type leg. I'm not even gonna type left egg Mills. What the fuck? What's the first name? God damn, Heather Mills. Heather Mills is the name.
Oh, Heather Mills. That sounds really familiar. That might be the one that I'm thinking.
I just typed in Paul McCartney wife leg. Like I didn't even about to put like fake or anything. I'm just like, her left leg was amputated below the knee. She used a prosthetic. Okay, that's fine. I just remember opening Anthony had fucking Patrice on, and they were fucking like just riffing and jokes about the divorce and about her fucking leg.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude, it was really fucking funny. Obviously mean-spirited. They're not mean-spirited, mean. But really fucking funny.
I mean, she fucking ripped him off for a whole bunch of fucking money, so I mean,
yeah.
Trashed
and she can take a little. She can take a little heat from Opie and Anthony and Patrice. Fuck her.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's theft because like he made all that money way before she was involved with him. There's no real.
Oh shit! She was English. I thought she was American. She's not. You're right. You were right, dude.
I was right about her being
she's
British.
Not American. Yeah. I don't know why I thought she was American. Maybe because they lived here. Whatever. Yeah, Karen, English, former model, business, animal rights activist. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to think. The Beatles were famous, like mid '60s, kind of that area.
Oh yeah.
And they got famous. She was born in '68, so good on you, Sir Paul. Again, not unusual for any rich and famous guy to bag a much younger wife.
Oh yeah, that's the standard, really.
Yeah. It's almost like what's wrong with you if you're an old guy that's rich and famous and you don't have like a wife that's a minimum of 20 years younger.
Well, isn't it like Leonardo DiCaprio fairly well known for having like a ridiculous standard when it comes to that?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what it is, but he seems to date,
it's like
very young
under
women.
20 or something. He's like, if she's old enough to bleed, she's too old for me to breed. It's kind of his style.
Yeah, it's a pretty narrow window there if it's going to be under 20. Like literally, to be legal.
I think it's actually like something like 21 to 25 or something like that. Like he'll start dating them super young, and then just like
they age out at like 25. Like, all right, I gotta trade you in for a new model. Sorry, I never worked through the trauma of being passed around Hollywood and molested by everybody. So I'm going to date very young women.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was one of those people that everybody said he got molested by people.
Dude, have you seen the footage of him and Brian Peck where they're like being interviewed on set when he was a kid?
No. Oh, yeah, I think you showed that to me, actually.
Yeah, it's creepy, dude.
Yeah, like
they're being really like handsy-on with each other. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, it was like a weird amount of touching in like a lot of weird ways of touching that just seemed.
Yeah, especially since Brian Peck literally went to jail for molestation or whatever with minors.
Oh, yeah, that'll set the old creep factor fucking creep indicator to the 11 right there.
Yeah. In case you wanted to relive it, there you go.
Oh, that fucking interview? No, I don't think I'll be watching that again. That's cool. Thanks, man.
Okay. Yeah, just in case,
Yeah, I don't really want to see it anymore. Don't ever want to see that one again, actually.
All right, I was fucking with you. I'll erase it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll leave it on or leave it or not. I don't really care. It's like, I'm just not going to watch it. But, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a tough one. I can't. Yeah, knowing what I know now. It
seems like, I mean, it gives the impression of two people who are in a much more intimate relationship than a small child and an adult man should be in.
Yes. God, yeah, it's so. Dude.
Well, you've heard about like the whole P. Diddy thing, right? Like it's believed that he's been forcing sex on a lot of people.
Yeah. Apparently, Justin Bieber when he was a kid.
Yeah, supposedly.
If that's true, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But
I mean, there's no way to know. It would be nice if there was a way to know, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen an interview with those two when Bieber was still underage. That's pretty fucking creepy too. It's not nothing like the DiCaprio Peck one.
He's better at hiding the fucking weird pedophile vibe.
Yeah.
What is with Hollywood like, right? Like I don't understand how there's so fucking many pedophiles.
Yeah, I mean,
constantly being exposed in Hollywood, because like not even all their movies are not all kids movies. There's a lot of movies where there's no children.
Yeah,
like
I don't know. I feel like part of it is like possibly some of it is people that are just already attracted to kids or whatever, and gravitate towards that industry. Like Brian Peck, obviously, always worked on kids show. Dan Schneider always worked on kids shows. For the other ones, it might just be like some kind of thing, some combination of like power and degeneracy.
Like they just get off on how degenerate it is. It's not necessarily about the kids kind of thing.
And also they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Like some kind of weird combination of all that shit. You know what I mean? Rich, powerful, and the degeneracy that's supposed to go with it. And also getting away with shit that is fucking wildly illegal.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know, but I assume those all factor in at some level. Yeah, Dan Schneider obviously had a foot fetish too, so.
Yeah, that shit was funny. Somebody put together like a supercut of all of the weird shit she did in those Ariana Grande did in the shows for Dan Schneider, because Ariana Grande's like a famous singer now, but she was in a lot of he was in his show, and it's uncomfortable to watch. Like it's like you're watching.
Yeah, know about him now.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. Like if you didn't know anything about Brian Peck and Leo DiCaprio, you'd be like, "Oh, that's a little weird." But knowing the fact, well, no, that one would look pretty weird no matter what, I guess. But it wouldn't be as disturbing because you didn't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost a certainty. Like, he's never come out and said it. Neither of them obviously have come out and said it. But knowing what you know, that is by far the most likely scenario.
It looks like a teenage couple pawing at each other nervously in front of like the family.
Yeah.
That's why it's so
they're like, we want to be more than this, but the cameras are on and people are watching, so they're going to restrict it to some weird touchy shit.
It was like my cousin was this is a long time ago. I'm so kind of surprised I remember it, honestly. He was chilling on the couch with one of his girlfriends at one point. Like, I think they were both in their mid-20s at the time, I want to say, or early 20s. I wasn't quite an adult. No, see, he was young, like early 20, like 20, 19, 22, so maybe somewhere around that range. And you could see that he was groping her breasts under the fucking blanket. You know, like, it was just...
Yeah.
It was like...
That's weird.
It was weird that everybody in the room was just kind of like, we all know what you're doing. Like, why are you...
Yeah, we don't think she's flexing her tits to make it move right in that spot.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking dumb. It was just like... It was like a step away from, what do you call it? Literally just banging under the fucking blanket, essentially. They were making out real heavy. And it was like, you guys so fucking weird. Go to another room. Like, fucking, there's a whole lot of rooms in the house, man.
Did anybody actually say anything, or is that taboo?
Nobody said anything. I don't know why. I was like, this is, fucking 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't fucking, I don't remember like what happened altogether. I just remember being like really uncomfortable and going
very uncomfortable, yeah.
Like, I'm not an adult, but even I know this is fucking inappropriate behavior. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's very odd.
Like, get a girlfriend, have sex, cool, but like in the front of the family, like, that's weird. It's Thanksgiving. There's turkey on the table over there.
I assume there were no other people that had blankets over them. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, you are correct. You know what? You're definitely correct on that one. You were the only two with the blanket.
No, we're just really cold. Like, we have a really low temperature, so
yeah.
I need to be under this blanket and feeling your tits. Otherwise, yeah, it's just too cold.
Yeah. I walked in on one of my other cousins fooling around. He was smart enough to take her upstairs to a room where no one was. And I just was wandering up there to use the bathroom or something, and I just heard noises and looked in the room. I think I was like 12 or something, because my other cousin was much older than I was. He was an adult. Right. And he kept trying to fucking chase me down like he could explain it, and I'm like, I get it. I just feel embarrassed because I walked in and I should have known better. Fucking, I don't care. Y'all were in a private room doing it where you should be doing it.
Just please don't talk about it. Don't mention it ever again. It's fine.
Yeah, like, I get what you were doing. You guys were in there to fuck. I get it. It's cool. I don't care. My only regret is that I opened the door and ruined your fucking moment instead of just walking to the bathroom to piss. Like... Oh, God. That was funny.
It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that's... Ooh. Yeah, I'm glad I never walked in on anything like that. Like on my parents.
I'm so glad I never walked in on my parents. Yeah, I never did walk in on my parents. That was one of the few things I'm very happy to have never done.
Yeah, I think the worst was, I think, yeah, this would have been when I still lived in New York. Yeah, like I came downstairs and my mom and dad were like back room, and he was grabbing her tits. Still fully dressed, so you know what I mean. They weren't undressed or anything. But I was like, I'm gonna tell, and they're like, who? They literally came back with, who? Who are you going to tell? I had no effective reply.
You had nothing, no one to tell. You're like, I could tell on you. Oh shit, no one cares.
They're married. That's what happens. Again, that was when I was in New York, so I was definitely under the age of 10. I can't remember exactly how, but it was when I still lived when we still lived in New York, and we moved when I was 10.
Man.
So sometime younger than that. At whatever age, I would think they need to be told on. Still.
Yeah, like anyone's gonna care.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna
So
tell
I'm guessing
somebody
I was
and they're gonna
probably,
be like, oh, they're grounded.
I'm guessing
now.
I was like I'm guessing I was like 6 or 7
Yeah,
or something. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense. I could see that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Are we out of topics? I can't think of anything else that's going on particularly.
Yeah.
I did not watch
like
when
minutes,
the girl got friends. Oh, the casino thing. This shit was funny as fuck.
Casino thing?
So I put up a casino thing. It was this woman goes to the casino. I forget which casino, like what state it's in. I assume Nevada, but whatever. She, puts in her money for the fucking slot machine, spins it, gets a 2 times bonus for the next round, spins it again and wins $1.28 million, right? So she totaled $2.56 million in winnings because of the double thing.
Right.
Manager for the floor comes out and says, I'm sorry, ma'am, there was a glitch with the machine. Get the fuck out of our casino.
Dude.
So she's filing a lawsuit, and I think it's a pretty safe bet that she's going to walk away with more than $2.56 million. She's probably going to walk away with closer to 3.5, maybe 4.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's, they do have the signs that say, like, malfunction, voids all pay and play or whatever. But unless they can prove it was, like, definitively prove it was a malfunction.
Yeah,
I don't see how they're going to lose that. How they're going to win it, yeah. So, like, malfunction was, we didn't think anybody'd ever win. They weren't supposed to, so.
Well, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, what an incredibly dumb, short fucking sighted decision. Right?
Yeah, the bad press alone.
Because the bad press alone is going to cost you way more.
Yeah.
Now, if they'd said, holy shit, you won, we're going to comp you a room, we're going to give you a nice meal, we're going to provide, like, a police escort with security to get you to, like, the cage to turn your winnings in and to take you to the bank so that you don't get...
We're going to call the news, all the news stations.
We'd love it if you would be willing... No, we're not going to call the news stations. We would love it if you'd be willing to do some interviews with us. We'd really appreciate it. And make a big deal out of it. And be like, yeah, she fucking won. They could be making way more than the $2.56 million over the next couple of months. And just, increase business. Because the gamblers always are like, oh, it's paying out. Gotta go there. They're fucking... Gamblers aren't the smartest people. So they're all going to flock to that place and want to play where it pays out. They could have made so much fucking money. It's like, goddamn, like, what kind of fucking morons
how could you be that fucking
hire?
stupid?
It blew my mind. As soon as I saw this story, I was like, how you got to be real fucking stupid to think that was going to work out in your favor, man.
Yeah, what's a couple million against how much you fucking make, dude? Like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah. And it's very obvious that it was definitely a case of we didn't expect it to pay out.
Yeah, it wasn't actually a malfunction. But we didn't expect anybody to actually win. Yeah.
God damn, that was just like such a wacky one. I wonder how many other people were there in the casino who worked there who were like watching the manager going, "Oh, you fucking retard! Like, why would you do this?"
Dude, can you imagine being the person that gets told that after you think you just won over $2 million?
Oh yeah, I'd be I'd be absolutely fucking pissed.
I would be
so far beyond angry at that point.
That would be very difficult. Like, the only reason I would not beat the shit out of him is, again, well, a few reasons.
Because you're in front of cameras everywhere in a casino. Everything's on video, so there's no chance they wouldn't know you did it.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons not to do it. Yeah, that plus, you know, it might actually affect your fucking your lawsuit or whatever. Probably not, but still. Plenty of reasons.
I'd start recording and be like, would you please repeat what you said? Because I'm going to need this for evidence later. You know, like, I'm going to need this for evidence when I'm ruining your life and your company's financial future in court. Like, if you wouldn't mind, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me what bullshit you just fucking spewed at me.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I wonder if, like, he went and did that before anyone else could, like, react, and they were all like, God, no. Well, he's already done it. We have to back him now. You know, like, just... Because you would think, like, immediately upon this being released as a news story, the rest of the people in charge of the casino would be like, well, clearly he was operating on his own. We don't know what he was doing. We're going to make sure she gets paid immediately, you know, and then, like, release a check to her, like, as quickly as possible.
I'd probably throw in an extra fucking $500,000 or something, dude.
Oh, at this point, she's definitely going to get that. She's 70 years old and, like, the fucking... She signed off her interview with, gosh, I sure hope I can get the money before I die. Oh, there's no way.
Dude. Yeah, if they manage to drag it out past her death, it's going to be even worse for him, dude.
Oh,
Jesus, I would think.
No, that's when the kids come in and take way more than 1 to 2.56 million. They probably get double or triple that amount easily.
Yeah, they're like, all right, we want punitive damages at this point. So, yeah, triple it. Because punitive damages tend to just automatically triple whatever the fucking damages are.
Good Lord. Yeah, that is just... Yeah, so apparently there's some sort of, like, gambling commission or something that's investigating. Like, they're going to hand over to them to investigate it. But I don't think that matters. I don't think that that's going to hold any real weight in court at the end of the day. What's going to hold weight is, did it say you won?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
in what way did it malfunction?
Exactly.
Yeah. And you better be able to fucking prove it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even if it was supposedly malfunctioning, I don't think it's going to matter if it says that she won and did it twice in a row. Like, there's just no way to argue against that. Yeah,
I assume the signs that say malfunction, void all pay and play is kind of like the at a car wash where they say they're not responsible for your lost shit.
Oh, yeah.
And it turns out they totally are.
Oh, there was somebody who was arguing with me in comments that was funny as fuck when I was talking about, like, a lot of the stuff corporations do is illegal. Like the whole thing where they were like, oh, that guy has a racist doorbell, shut it down. Like, they don't have the authority to do that. It's not up to them what you say or record on there. They don't get to just decide to take away your access to your own property. And he was like, well, they put it in their terms of service. I'm like, just because they wrote it down doesn't make it legal. Like, that's not how contracts work. Like, I can make a contract with somebody that says, like, they legally allow me to murder them. Like, that's not a legal contract.
Yeah.
Just because that guy happens to be suicidal and I'm a giant pile of shit. And I offered him like $500 to go blow him on a weekend, and then the Monday I get to fucking stab him to death or something. Like, that's not a legal contract just because we wrote it the fuck down, dummy. And it was just like, this guy's like, no, terms of service are based on the law. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot, dude.
Really?
Like, don't
wow. That is incredibly naive. That was an adult human that said that?
I assume it was some sort of bot, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
But because I used to get this shit where I worked for this small assembly company, right? They made microwave circulators and isolators. which is like cell phone tower equipment. Like really, like it's super cheap equipment essentially that works like a circuit breaker. Where it's like they spend $500 for an isolator and then they don't have to spend $10,000 for a new amp, kind of thing.
All right.
But I worked for this company and like weirdest fucking accident I've ever seen. One of the guys was tossing a football. Like we would toss the football on break, just toss it around like Nerf around the parking lot and shit. And he was just throwing the football, and his arm fucking broke. Like between his elbow and his shoulder, right in the middle of his fucking bicep, his fucking arm broke. And he was out for a while. Turned out his bone just had a big air bubble in it, and it was just always going to break at some point, but you never knew when. So that's what happened there. And then the company was like, oh, I'm sorry, but on breaks and lunch and stuff, you're not allowed to leave the building. And it's like,
wow,
that's not your decision to make. Like, you don't get to make that choice. That's not up to you.
Yeah,
like, you wrote it on a piece of paper, and that's cool, but that's not legal. So, like, I just got up and went out and smoked because I don't care. Like, I'm like, you don't get to decide what I am and am not allowed to do or where I am and am not allowed to go on my lunch and my break. That's my time, not your time.
Yeah. And what was the reason? Did you think that something that freakish was going to happen again?
Yeah. It was because of that. And it was just a reactive dumb shit. You know, like dumb fucking reactive nonsense.
Yeah.
And so you're just left with, like, the impression of, like, these people are retarded. You know?
I mean, odds-wise, that place after that is probably one of the least likely places for something like that to happen.
Yeah, you would think, exactly.
Yeah. I wonder if he was related to that Dave Dravecki guy, the pitcher for the Giants back in the day. For your San Francisco Giants.
Oh, no, probably not. But, I see what you mean. I get you.
Do you remember? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Wasn't there a guy that broke his arm throwing a pitch or something?
Yeah, he had, like, cancer.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was cancer, though. It wasn't, yeah, luckily my friend didn't have cancer. He just had a bubble of air in his bone, so that was a lucky.
But he was literally. Yeah, he was literally pitching in a game, and one pitch finally just his fucking upper arm fucking snapped.
Ooh, that's gotta really
super
suck.
sad. Dude, yeah, you can fight all the way back to where you can actually play again. You can actually pitch again.
Wow.
And then your fucking upper arm snaps. Yeah, it's fucked up, man. I should make sure I'm getting the name right. It doesn't matter, but I'm pretty sure that was the guy's name. Again, not that it really matters.
True.
Dave Dravecki. What was a one-arm pitcher? No, not a one-arm pitcher. Why did Dave Dravecki lose his arm? Diagnosed with a desmoid tumor in his left arm, pitching arm. Surgery... frozen. Oh, his humerus bone was frozen in an effort to eliminate all of the cancerous cells.
Oh, wow.
And then he went back to pitch. Yeah, that's definitely the guy. I'm not saying anything about the broken arm specifically, but yes, that is absolutely the guy.
That's got to be rough.
I remembered something correctly. Oh, my God.
Yay!
All right, we got to call it. It's after 6, and I just remembered something correctly.
I got to go pee and dinner. I can smell dinner, and it smells really good.